Founders Live is the global venue for modern entrepreneurs, especially during these very challenging times. The direct impact of COVID-19 is currently being felt around the world, and it could get worse before it gets better. We are here to help you through these challenging times by connecting you to the people, information, and resources meant to move you forward as you start your next project.
We see an opportunity to bring the resources and capital and connections to the people that need it and the people that can use it, no matter where they live in the world. My honest opinion is, no matter what the economic climate is in the world, Founders Live can be important. In the good times, when it's booming, we're here to help grow companies and have them access capital that's flowing around the world and really be a fun, great event and global platform that powers entrepreneurship. In the tough times, we actually think we can be the answer, given the fact that if people are actually getting laid off and unemployment starts rising, well, the choice to start their own business is front and center, and Founders Live is right there to help them grow. I believe the secret sauce of Founders Live lies in the combination of these three words: inspiration, education, and entertainment. Inspiration is rooted in the energy and the passion that every single attendee has. The education is the information that we're bringing to people that they otherwise couldn't find. Founders Live Online helps solve entrepreneurs' daily challenges. If you have a question that you're just wondering, like, I don't know what to do here, you simply need to just type it into Founders Live and someone else will answer it right there for you. And the entertainment is the fun. We believe business should be fun, we believe it should be casual, and we believe it should be inspirational. Founders Live is the perfect place for you to connect with other entrepreneurs and to be inspired.
All right. Hello and welcome to Founders Livefest 2020. Nicholas, what's going on?
Dude, I'm psyched. I'm inspired. I'm waiting to get entertained too.
Yeah, this is so cool,
Awesome.
man. This is so cool. Yeah, welcome so much. And my name is Nick Hughes. I am the CEO and founder of Founders Live. We are here at Founders Livefest 2020 and so excited for this. Nicholas, introduce yourself real quick.
Thanks, Nick. I'm Nicholas Zeisler. I am the head of customer experience, and some of you have probably heard from me recently. We're reaching out. As you know, we've got a lot of new offerings coming up. We're kind of changing the model of Founders Live, not the heart, not the soul and the spirit of it, but changing a little bit about how we come into the lives of founders and how we support this community. I'm really looking forward to today, obviously, but then also looking forward to what's coming up. And there'll be a little bit more about that later on during the broadcast today.
Awesome. Well, hey, you got to buckle up here, everyone. We are on a fast track for this event today. We are going to run through some stuff, and then we're going to bring on our first guest real quick. So I'm going to remove you, Nicholas. I'm going to run through some things, and here we go. All right. So welcome to Founders Livefest 2020. Please like this video. This helps us so much to get into the algorithm. So like it, please. Let's go. What you're going to see today is 4 parts. All right. I'm going to run through this real quick, and then we're going to jump into our first presenter, our first partner. So we have lightning partner talks from Google, Net Capital, Galvanize, Women in Cloud, and PPB Law. So excited. That's the first hour. Second hour, we have some special keynote talks from Lucy Fink. She's going to talk about power of trying new things. Bill Sablon from Now CFO is going to talk about smarter business decisions. And I am actually going to share the future of Founders Live. The third hour, we have our primetime global pitch competition. These founders have pitched at their city level events, then at the regional events. They now are representing their continent, their region of the world in the Founders Live primetime global pitch competition. That is going to be the third hour. And then, hey, why don't we meet our presenters? We're excited to hear from them. So here we go.
Hello, this is Irene Velasco, CEO and founder of Helki. where we create Ellie, a virtual assistant for parents and caregivers. She answers their parenting questions in real time. With sophisticated artificial intelligence and algorithms in data science, we can predict risk situations in the development of the children.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gyanendra Khanna. You can call me GK. I'm founder and CEO of Brain Racers, a first-of-a-kind, massive multiplayer cognitive race. Our vision is to celebrate brain athletes and brain champions like we do physical athletes in the world through an awesome esports cognitive platform. Thank you.
I'm Paula Ortega. I'm co-founder of AIR, and we're an artificial intelligence platform that can help companies take employee-centric decisions in real time.
Hey y'all, this is Amanda Doemeral from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm the founder and CEO of Fiveable. We're building a social learning app for high school students to be able to create collaborative spaces so that they can learn, get to know each other, build confidence, and ultimately just be able to do whatever they want to do in the world and make the world a better place.
Hi everyone, my name is Destiny Njoki. From Nairobi, Kenya, founder of Lamazi Tribe. Lamazi Tribe means beautiful community, and our vision is to clear plastic waste from our environment. I will be preaching at the Founders Live Global Finals on the 2nd of December. See you there.
Oh, that's so great. We love our lineup of founders today, and so excited. So the last hour we have networking, our networking rooms, and you'll see right here on the screen you have a very vast choice of what rooms you want to slide into. We'll talk about at the end, but stick around for these topical rooms that you can meet people and chat and hang out in those rooms. So excited. Few things real quick. Experience this on founderslive.com. That's where you're going to find the rooms. That's where you're going to find this. You'll actually find a button on there that if you want to open this event on YouTube to be able to chat and ask questions, please do that. But on Founders Live, you'll be able to find the voting experience. You'll be able to find the attendee digital swag bag that has more than $5,000 worth of value in there, and also our networking. So you can't find your networking on YouTube. If you're watching that, you got to get into Founders Live to jump on there. All right, we are ready for our first guest. And Nicholas, I'm going to bring you back on, man. How you feeling on this?
I'm doing all right. I'm already overwhelmed. Those weren't even 99 seconds each, and I already am excited to see what happens.
We have a packed 3 to 4 hours for you all, so we're so excited. Hey, Nicholas, why don't you introduce our first guest?
Yeah, you bet.
Which would be.
Yeah, we got Jason Scott coming in from Google Cloud for startups. Jason, are you there, buddy?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Why don't you go ahead and I know you got a little bit of a stand up there, and I'll be back in just a second to ask you a couple questions.
Yeah, sounds good. So I'm going to share my screen, and thank you all for having me. It's always a pleasure to chat and meet with founders and events for startups. But excited to chat with you all really quickly. As Nick mentioned, this has been a crazy year in the shift to digital, but I always like to say within moments of crisis turn into opportunity. And I'd love to share with you all how some opportunities for you all as founders distributed across the globe to take advantage of some of the awesome resources out there, particularly as you're building your company. So go quick. So what's coming in 2021? So for many of you, you might not know this, but if you're looking to dive deep into technical enablement for your teams and your founders, maybe you're a developer at a startup, or maybe you're a CTO or a technical founder, or maybe you're a non-technical founder but building a highly technical product, we have many accelerators coming up across the globe next year, whether they be for specific regions, whether it be Canada, Japan, Sub-Saharan Africa. We're actually launching our first Middle East and North Africa accelerator as well next year, and many in North America and South America as well, but also around specific themes, so climate change, sustainable development goals. So encourage you all, go to developers.google.com community/accelerators and stay tuned. We have so many in store for you, and particularly excited to really help founders dive deep technically as they're diving into AI, machine learning, data management, etc. Also, for those of you looking for a community. Really excited to let you all know about First Fridays. So First Fridays is something we launched this year in our shift to digital, really as a way to bring community to our founders and bring in great guests. So it's actually sadly cut off in this screen, but you'll see some of the guests that we bring in. But we always bring in former founders, experts around Google. We had our head of commerce, our head of developer ecosystems, et cetera, to come in for some one-on-one time with founders in a very informal ask me anything type of format. So check it out, firstfridaysforstartups.com. For those of you really looking for specific content, we keep all of that content on demand as well. So it's a really exciting time to dive into e-commerce or dive into a topic we talked about last month around indie hacking, which is looking at how do you turn your passion projects into businesses. So some great content there for you all as well. That's firstfridaysforstartups.com. And then one other exciting announcement that we launched this year is Google for Startups Startup School. So really, and again, we will be sharing these links for you all. I unfortunately put them all at the bottom of the slides, so I think they get cut off out of the lower thirds. But Google for Startups Startup School, where you are looking for self-service, self-guided content for yourself, whether it be around ads, analytics, cloud and infrastructure, or even just how we think about people and OKRs and people management. We actually just, in a recent accelerator, had a lot of founders come away saying, this is the first time that I feel like I've leveled up as a CEO, because I've really looked at how to do objectives and key results and people management and progress management. So all of that content, we're really here to make it accessible for you all. So check it out. It's www.campus.co/startup school. And we really want to really, like I said, level the playing field for founders. And in that effort and in that vein, as Nick pointed out, I will be happy to share with you all a consolidated list of resources by topic area in your swag bags after this event. So again, my ultimate goal is to really make it so that founders anywhere can have access to the same resources and same guidance, regardless of if you're located in New York, San Francisco, or in Cape Town, South Africa, right? So take a look at this sheet, take a look at these resources, and reach out anytime. Jason Scott at google.com, and always happy to support. And I think that was all of the information I was able to share in such a short period of time, but happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Yeah, you got that right out as quickly as you could. I know you got a lot of stuff going on today, Jason, and definitely, you said right at the beginning that you just view this crisis as a potential opportunity. And of course, that encapsulates the spirit of what's going on, especially in the founders community. And I know that Google loves your founders, right? Can you just review for us once more? Jason, what's the first step if we got founders that are watching this and want to get involved and they want access to those resources? What's the first step?
Yeah, so two steps I would say. One, check your swag bags. Like I said, I did a curated list of some links for you, but if all else fails, startup.google.com. We're really taking an effort to try and consolidate and use that as a portal. So start there. There's a lot, but whether you're an Android developer or building a voice technology startup or building, we have one doing, they actually call themselves, they're digitizing the manure industry. But regardless of what you're doing, we have stuff for you. And again, I'd say startup.google.com. And honestly, for this audience, Jason Scott at google.com, always happy to help.
Awesome. Great, Jason. Really appreciate it. And thanks so much to you and to Google for Startups for all the help that they've offered and being a part of Founders Live, especially in this first hour with our partner spotlights. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Of course. Thank you all for having me.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Now we're going to move on to our next sponsor spotlight here, and it's Net Capital. We've got Rob coming in there. Rob, hey, buddy.
How's it going, guys?
It's going all right. Can you hear me okay? I can hear you just fine.
I can hear you.
Awesome. Well, go ahead and let's hear what you got to say with Net Capital there.
Perfect. I will share my screen here. Well, thanks again, guys. Yeah. You can see everything all right?
Yep, we're ready. Roll.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for having me today. My name is Rob Burnett. I'm the Director of Business Development at Net Capital. Net Capital is an online funding portal, and we help companies raise capital, and we help investors invest in private companies. So, I know Most of the people here watching today are either going to be founders, or maybe future founders looking to raise capital at some point. I know capital is often one of the big pain points for any entrepreneur, and then many of you might be aspiring investors as well. So I want to just give everyone a brief overview of how Net Capital works, what we're here for, and hopefully provide support and help for any of the entrepreneurs in the audience today who might need to raise capital for their business. So I think we all know the traditional sources of capital. You can bootstrap, you can do it all on your own, put your own money in, raise money from customers through revenue. There you can go to angel investors and get them to write you checks to go build your business. And then there's venture capital, which is further up the food chain, writing bigger checks, working with institutional investors. But now I'm learning not to say it's a new source of funding anymore, because it's been around now for the last couple of years. Now there is something that's colloquially called equity crowdfunding, but we like to think of it as just access to the capital markets. So Net Capital is a online funding portal. We use Reg CF to sell securities. So where it's easy, it's efficient, it's online. Any company can come, we collect their information, make filings with the SEC, and they can list on Net Capital's site. And once they do that, they can not only raise capital from anyone, regardless of their accredited status, but they can also generally solicit. So it allows you to reach out beyond a small group of angel investors to people like your friends and family, your customers, other retail investors who might want to make smaller bets on more startups. And so it really, what we're starting to see is a sea change in how, especially early stage companies raise capital. And we're seeing that there's more and more small investors who want in, and there's more and more access to the capital markets for startups, like a lot of the people watching and a lot of the finalists today, which I'm excited to see. So, these groups of investors can bring more than just money. You can create a tribe and a culture around your business, and you can create some of the most ardent advocates for your business by letting them invest right alongside you as founders, and let them grow with you and be the first people to try your product. Let them be evangelists for you. So these investors can be friends and family, angels. Customers is a big place. Plus, like I mentioned earlier, there's all these investor networks popping up now of people who want to invest in your business, but maybe they need to write smaller checks or aren't accredited yet. Real quick to finish off, a couple of case studies. We're very proud of our friends at MagFast, who recently sold out $1 million round in less than 24 hours, which was incredibly exciting. They have a really, really fantastic, amazing fan base who we're clamoring to support them. And then a member of the Founders Live community, Ecotext, a bunch of great entrepreneurs, and they were able to raise over 160 grand from friends and family, and by marketing their campaign and putting it out there to the world. And so, if you have any questions about how to raise capital, about what we can do and work together, please feel free to reach out to me. And there's in the takeaway bag today, there's an offer for any entrepreneur who's looking to raise capital. So hopefully make it a little easier for you.
Rob, that's great stuff. That's fantastic. It almost kind of leads you to the question of, well, why hasn't anybody done this before, right?
Yeah. So, there are some other people doing it. We can't claim to be the only ones, but all of this has come about from regulations passed by Congress in 2016. And one thing that's really exciting is, so we spent the last couple of years building the business, and the markets have evolved and come to us, and there's more people making investments in these small businesses. But one thing I think is really exciting is this year we've seen two really exciting developments. The first is, with the COVID-19 crisis is, obviously hard on everybody, but we can't raise money face-to-face anymore.
Yeah.
Fundraising used to be hand-to-hand combat, and now it can't be. It's all done like this. And so being able to raise capital online has become a huge tool. And we've seen a massive spike in the number of investors looking for deals through a site like ours. And the second thing I'll mention real quick is the SEC has actually updated the rules. They just announced it. So previously you could only raise up to $1,070,000 from non-accredited investors, from anybody. Mm-hmm. But early next year, that's going to change to $5 million. And so even if you don't need to raise $5 million, that's going to unlock so many more investors, so many more people who are going to start taking this asset class more seriously, making it part of their portfolio. So even smaller companies are going to have access to more and more investors who are going to want to be in this space.
That's great, Rob. It's more of a democratization again, right? I mean, you're making it available to more people and making that vehicle even more robust. That's fantastic, man. We got a lot of folks online today watching Founders. You had mentioned Ecotext in the Founders Live community. Mm-hmm. What would you say? I mean, who's kind of the ideal client profile for you all? Who is it that this does, or does it even have a specific type of founder or startup that makes more sense to go to this equity crowdfunding?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. So the good news is that we've worked with a broad variety of companies, everyone from early idea stage, pre-revenue, all the way up to companies that are about to go public. And so and anything from, the kind of what you'd call traditional crowdfunding companies that are like direct to consumer tech, mm-hmm. kind of really cool gadgets, all the way to like advanced materials and clean tech. So we've worked with kind of everybody we can think of. And so the real key to it is, it's not going online and having money rain from the sky. It's going online and hustling, just like all of you guys hustle and everything else you do, and finding investors, getting in front of people and building a tribe. And so any kind of entrepreneur who really wants to get out there and hustle and really kind of galvanize their community around them can do it.
Yeah. Now, Joyce is asking a question right here. I think that's a valuable one. Are there any sort of regional limitations on this? You talked about SEC and changes here in the States as far as laws go. What are the considerations globally?
Yeah. So unfortunately for Net Capital, we're restricted to working with U.S. entities. So you can be a company that's based in another country, but you need a U.S. entity to raise the funds. But there are similar, the UK has a robust scene in doing this type of fundraising, and other countries are starting to catch up as well. So these types of opportunities are available in other places. Unfortunately for Net Capital right now, we're stuck in the US market, but we're hoping someday to expand.
Yeah. Now, of course, there's those options rather to get yourself an entity in the United States, if that's what it's going to come down to, though, right, Rob?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So now you talked a little bit about some of those changes, some of those with the SEC and so forth, and you have these great examples. What do you think is coming up? 2021 is going to start. Everything's going to be so much better, right? Everybody is convinced of it. What do you see as the future for equity crowdfunding as we enter the new world here?
Yeah. So like I mentioned in my presentation, I think that this is no longer going to be equity crowdfunding. I think it's going to be the capital markets. I think it's going to be what companies do to raise capital. I think the idea of, we feel very strongly that democratization is important, and that why isn't 97% of Americans locked out of early stage investments, because they're not accredited. We think that everyone's going to make this part of their portfolio. And we think that kind of online digitization of securities is just a no-brainer. So why are you faxing paper convertible notes back and forth? Everyone's going to be moving online, is what we think.
Awesome. So yeah, it'll show up in your IRA and your 401k soon enough, right, Rob?
Exactly.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Rob, thanks so much, Net Capital. Appreciate your time. Great lightning round here. Thanks a lot, buddy.
No problem. We appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Take it easy now. Moving on. Nick, I can't believe how fast this is going. We're moving on to Galvanize now. We've got Esther from Galvanize. Esther, are you there? And can you hear us?
Yes, I am.
I can hear you too. Fantastic. Let's hear what y'all have got to say. I love Galvanize. Awesome. What a great working space y'all have there. We've got one right here in Denver.
Great. That's so great. We are excited to be here today. I'm going to share my screen with you all now.
Yeah.
Loading. There we go. Perfect. So I'm here today to talk about co-working and community post-COVID. So thank you so much to Nick Hughes and Founders Live for inviting me to speak on the topic today, which I'm very passionate about. I originally met Nick in Seattle, so it feels like we're coming full circle for me to be presenting here today on behalf of Galvanize. So for those of you who may not have heard of Galvanize, we are a US-based company that brings entrepreneurs, students, and companies together under one roof to create a one-of-a-kind tech ecosystem. We offer co-working spaces, immersive education in software engineering and data science, and enterprise training. Through organic and curated interactions, our members and students are immersed in stimulating environment that fosters collaboration, innovation, and productivity. So we've all seen how COVID has affected us in different ways. At the beginning of COVID for us, we began to see a consolidation of niche co-working spaces, leading other co-working companies to pivot to support a broad spectrum of industries and individuals. We've also seen that co-working spaces can lower the barrier to entry into new markets by providing businesses with flexible workspace solutions to reduce overhead. They are a cost-efficient way for smaller startups to expand into new markets and a place where newly remote workers can connect to their local ecosystem. Did you know 14 to 23 million Americans are planning to relocate to the US city or region? It's crazy. As part of a growing acceptance of remote work, we're seeing a vast kind of transition of where people are living. And so co-working places, they play a key role to bring those bring those individuals into local ecosystems and help them connect with the companies and resources that they need. So just to tell you a little bit about how our co-working space and others have changed during COVID, we have increased our flexible products that are available as needed by customers. Since the pandemic, Galvanize started a flex membership, day passes, as well as one-person offices. We've seen that the lower priced products activate our spaces and move the needle. These products allow us to retain members as part of our community during potentially challenging economic times. After COVID, we expect co-working products to continue to expand to meet the needs of these communities. Next, post-COVID, co-working spaces are going to have to continue to stay vigilant in regards to health and safety. We want our members in our communities to feel safe coming into workspaces. And this slide just shares a little bit of what we have done at Galvanize and what we've seen many of our other competitors in co-working spaces around the country and nation, what they're doing to really step up their game when it comes to health and safety and make it a place for safe interactions. Co-working spaces can really help facilitate introductions for their members and for individuals like you all to really connect with people who might need your services, as well as give you exclusive resources, just like this partnership that we have with Founders Live. Did you know that as part of this partnership that we have, all Founders Live members get a 25% discount on seats and desks at Galvanize campuses. We also have, as part of our Flex membership, a way for you to tie in remote in case you aren't near any of our localized campuses in the US. Post-COVID, more remote workers are going to need systems that support their involvement in changing companies' cultures and access to mentors, because it's more important than ever to help these individuals grow and really connect to the resources that they need. So I believe that post-COVID, co-working spaces are going to continue to be a vital part of connecting individuals to communities and resources that they need. And Founders Live Fest is a great representation of what those partnerships can look like and how we can help connect you. So I will just end right here and just say I'm really excited to be a part of this. And I hope that you will check out our one-pager in your digital swag bag as well. It tells you a little bit more about Galvanize and how you can connect with us.
Thanks. Fantastic. Great information. You know, one of the things that's so cool about Galvanize as opposed to other spots that are just, co-working locations and it's all concentrated on the place. You all have a community, you have programming, you have courses and lessons and so forth. Tell us a little bit about how, and you touched on this in your presentation, but could you tell us a little bit more about how, for those folks who maybe they're not comfortable yet going in, maybe they live in a place where you can't go into a working space yet anymore, how, as we go into 2021, the vaccine is out there and we can all start going back, how is it that you're supporting and providing this programming to folks who can't meet in person yet?
That's a great question. Well, this is a prime example of it. You all are connections. So we have partnerships with a variety of different partners, including Google, who was previously on the call, which is super fun. So we provide virtual events right now, as well as we provide day passes and flexible membership. So if people do want to come on campus, but they aren't comfortable being there all week long and they just want to come for a day and they need a safe space and it's private, we do that as well. But our virtual events programming and content has really increased. And we've realized it's a way to market our members. So not only are we doing programming, but we're doing co-branded marketing with our members.
That's fantastic. So let's talk a little bit more about what we see kind of as trends going into the future. Again, everything shut down and everything kind of moved to digital. Here we are doing Founders Live events over the internet.
I know,
Tell
right?
us, yeah, what do you think is gonna endure from kind of a digital trends perspective? Not just necessarily with Galvanize, and we talked a bit about your offerings and the community that you support. What else do you think is going on out there for founders that we're going to find things different going on in the future?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I don't think that some of the things that have become digital are going to go away. I think that instead, companies who weren't fully digital or weren't prepared to support digital or remote workers, remote employees, remote companies, they're having to step up their game now. So I don't anticipate that going away. I think more than ever, we're going to see digital networks, just like Founders Live, that connect people around the world. We've seen the barriers kind of come down, and we realize that, hey, you don't have to be in my same neighborhood or my same state. I can find resources around the world now. So I feel like it's greater for founders now because resources have become more accessible versus less.
Yeah, I agree with that, Yana. One of the things that's so cool about the world where we are now is you can just pop into different communities that geographically and physically are somewhere else technically, but it really doesn't matter anymore. I don't have to travel to Seattle to go to Galvanize there or to Austin to go to it there. I'm doing it right now from my own office in my house, right? Yeah, we've got a question here from Yana coming in. What about remote communities of co-working spaces? Are you implementing online networking?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we specifically at Galvanize have a mentor match program. So that's one way that people can network to the resources that they need. Also our virtual events, and we have specific programming that is for our members. And there are Slack channels that they can engage in exclusively as well in order to share information, as well as a member portal where we have a directory of all of our members. You can reach out to any member you're interested in connecting with and see them as a resource. So if you don't know where to look, we always help facilitate those introductions. And we think that's the strength of our community, is really our ecosystem. It's not just about co-working members, but it's also all of our alumni that we have and all of our technical talent. We're a little bit different than the typical co-working ecosystem.
Yeah, are you noticing, by the way, that people are leveraging, more that distance aspect of it, where people aren't just looking for the folks who are around them in their own city, that they're saying, show me more of that network, show me more of that, intercity action that's going on, right?
Yeah, we definitely have. We have specifically, when COVID hit, we changed our programming to more nationalized. Yeah. It had been local, and we specifically integrated all of our campuses so that we could produce national programming to facilitate that. But then also we have, with our memberships, you can go to any one of our campuses. So you just have to give us a heads up and we'll facilitate that. And we've definitely seen that more. We've had member companies who wanted to launch into a new market, and we were able to facilitate introductions and even help set up initial meetings for them.
Yeah. Now, Emmanuel's asking a question here. I don't think he's necessarily talking about physically coming to the States, but how can international entrepreneurs take advantage of the networks and the system that Galvanize has?
Yeah, definitely. So send me an email. It's esther.swati@galvanize.com. I can connect you with our hiring team so that they can connect you with the talent that we have available. We have data science and software engineering graduates. And we've also started a new enterprise program to help companies that are looking to upskill their own talent. So there's a lot of different avenues there. Just shoot me an email and I'd be happy to connect you.
Awesome. Thanks, Esther. Thanks for your time. Thanks for the presentation. Thanks for teaming up with Founders Live. Definitely looking forward to getting back inside again sometime soon. In the meantime, it's great to have all your programming even available digitally and online. So thanks so much.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Take it easy. All right. So now comes the time where all the practice I did with Nick over the last week of getting this name proper is going to fall right on its face. Chetra. Women in Cloud. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
And did I get it anywhere close to right?
You did get it perfectly. That was awesome.
All right. High five. All right. I'll be back in just a second for with some questions, but let's hear what you have to say about Women in Cloud.
Absolutely. Let me just share my screen. Okay, there you go. First, just thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nicholas, for having me here today. Really, the partnership with Founders Live has been fantastic, and it really helped us grow our network to over 100 million women across the world, along with other partnerships that we have done. So I am Chaitra Vedalapalli. I wear two hats. I run a technology company, and then I also run is Women in Cloud, really a movement around driving economic development with female founders. So during the journey, as I was building my own company, I observed that the business, especially the female tech founders, lacked access to business networks, funding, and also enterprise customers. And less than 1% of the cloud opportunity, that is around $7.5 trillion, like 1% of that in the enterprise market was actually given access for women tech entrepreneurs. And that was one of the really the transformational area that we said, how about we really look at all the 1%, 2%, 3%, and really start to change a narrative for women tech entrepreneurs. So from that, the Women in Cloud, a global movement and a platform was created. It's a community-led and economic development organization, which has an audacious goal to take action to generate over $1 billion in net new opportunities for women tech entrepreneurs by 2030 through partnership with corporation, community leaders, and policymakers. The way we do is really establish a business network and a thriving network where we provide access to people across the globe through events and programs and our online network. The second one we do is we have a cloud accelerator. It's a 6-month immersive programming for women tech entrepreneurs to win enterprise opportunities and also provide a global stage to showcase their business. For example, we have a business in Saskatchewan, and they are doing business in Africa. To get them figure that out, we were able to do it within a week through connection through the Canadian consulate, US consulate, Microsoft ecosystem, the local ecosystem, the Dubai and Africa, everybody was connected. So they actually could realize the potential very easily. The third one is a public policy advancement. We really recommend policy with legislators and corporations to unlock the procurement vehicles for women entrepreneurs. So why do we exist? Well, we are really focused on closing the gender parity in technology building, and especially with cloud and AI. And we are an economic development organization. We do have education and community building, but really we focus on creating jobs, creating opportunities, and economic impact through the enterprise opportunity. So we do offer year-long activities from our annual summit, which was in person. This is going to be digital. We have the accelerator. We do a lot of executive connection to the decision maker and the procurement leaders, as well as investors, so that entrepreneurs can really accelerate their work. We also have an awareness campaign called as Empower Her with Access, really around the policy advocacy work. We have a global pitch challenge, and we really spend a lot of time on industry event inclusion. So with regards to the cloud accelerator, we really focus on 3 things. One is readiness of an entrepreneur for the enterprise market, providing them access to the advisors and the buyers, and really helping them accelerate their pipeline so they can really drive the speed that they need to go and accomplish the goals. So the way, what we have right now is we are opening the Cloud Accelerator for women tech founders across the globe, which is the 5th cohort is going to start in Feb 26th. There's only 20 spots available. There's an investment you have to put in is a minuscule, which is $1,000. This is your commitment to show that you're going to participate. There's no equity. So please go ahead and look at the link and get access to the opportunity on womenincloud.com. The other event that we are hosting, which is we had to pivot a lot, which is our summit, which used to be very lively in person. It's going global, but what it has done is we are able to create infinite access and also really focus on changing the global narrative by igniting purpose-driven leadership and entrepreneurship, along with changing the gender equity narrative in the tech ecosystem. So there are 5 ways you can participate. The first one is become a volunteer. if you want to learn digital skilling, we have put together a programming, because the volunteer work in the digital experience is very different. So we have an entire skilling available. And as part of the volunteer work, you will be recognized as a brand ambassador. You can become a mentor and host a roundtable and inspire women to really take on being an entrepreneur or advance their careers. You can underwrite access. You say, hey, I want to help women this Christmas and I want to underwrite access for someone to attend the summit. That's available. You can become an ambassador and you can become a corporate sponsor. So what we have is we are inviting top 100 companies across the world focused on creating economic access through our corporate pass. And we are also providing as a 30% discount with a 5 premium access and also a mentorship session that they can do along with the branding privileges. So I want all of you to consider that. And then basically we are hosting today is how to co-sell and co-market with Microsoft roundtables. So if you're an entrepreneur and you want to understand as a startup or as a company, how to leverage hyperscalers like Microsoft, Google, IBM, we are hosting that and you can just come and join with us and learn about what does it take to be successful in that relationship. And the last one is very simple. We've been inspired by Founders Life. We basically Nick helped us create what our online community is when the COVID hit. So please join our online community and get engaged with us. So with that, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be with you.
Thanks a lot. This is all such great stuff. There's so much, it's hard to keep up with everything. But I do have a question for you about that accelerator. Can you share what's the right sort of size or founder that you're looking for? What are the requirements? How does somebody get involved in that?
So we are looking for technology companies which are focused, who have been in business for a year, they have a tech solution and really want to expand their business in the enterprise market. So we want to make sure that they are able to really invest their time to build an enterprise business. It is not simple to really go into enterprise. It takes anywhere from 6 months to 15 months to really close an enterprise contract. But working through our accelerator program, we expedite. So within the 3rd month, you're actually pitching opportunities in front of enterprise. So we are looking for at least 1 year into your business building. So we are not really working with amateurs. And number 2 is we are focused on having at least one woman on the leadership position, or she is actually a founder of the company.
All right, great. That actually brings up a question that Felix is asking. I was wondering it too. You got room for the fellows in there. Can we mentor as well? How can we participate as also?
Absolutely. So our community is an inclusive community. We actually invite more men to participate because they actually hold the access key to opportunities. So more you come together and work with the entrepreneurs who are women, actually we expand the pie a little bit bigger. Instead of we are not going after the same pie, we actually expand the market very quickly. So we want more men to participate with us and have a voice at the table.
Yeah, such an interesting and very important perspective to keep in mind, that it's not about slicing up the pie, it's about growing that pie. And
absolutely,
women in cloud are definitely doing that, playing a huge part in expanding that accessibility. You have any last words or other thoughts that you want to share with us before we move on?
I would love is the entire community to join at our summit. And because we have such a live networking, and I know everyone wants live networking, working with Nick, it has been fantastic. So everything at the summit is all about networking. You will get to meet with us and all the executives in the ecosystem.
Fantastic.
So thank you for having me.
Yeah, you bet, Shasha. Thank you for coming on Women in Cloud. Great to have you along. Thanks so much for being a sponsor and a partner. And have a great rest of your holiday. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Now, finally, on to a much easier to pronounce name, Steve. Steve is here from PPB Law. Are you there, Steve? Can you hear me?
I sure am.
Fantastic. Tell us a little bit more about PPB, and then I'll be back, and I've got some questions for you as well.
Fantastic. So PPB Law is a boutique intellectual property firm. What we do is we work with a lot of startups regionally and internationally, also larger companies, to help them protect and create.
Steve, I apologize. I want to step in here. We don't see your slides, and I know you had some slides that you wanted to share. Do you have a visual there for you, or do you just want to talk? I'm sorry to step in here.
Hey, no worries, Nick. Thank you for doing that. I've got that gray button again that's haunting me a little bit that says,
if you just go ahead and click it. Yeah, just go ahead and click it. Yeah, walk through that. You should be able to pop your slides on there.
There we go. Sorry, my bad.
All right, there we go. We are ready, and we are back. All right.
Thank you so much, Nick, for that assistance. I appreciate it. So we'll take it from there. I didn't quite answer Nicholas's question, but go ahead, Nick.
Steve, let's just start over. Please stop sharing your screen, and then you need to share it again because you were sharing your full screen. Sorry, everyone, and we're gonna throw up a quick banner here. So, Steve, yeah, just walk through. Make sure you're sharing. There you go. I think we see. No. Steve, what I'm going to have you do is it sounds like you were just you were talking, and I'm going to have you just go ahead and just talk. Give your speech, and then we'll share the screens or the slides later. But let's just kind of keep going. Okay, sound good?
That sounds great, Nick. Sorry for the technical difficulty on my end. So yeah, intellectual property lawyer. Want to give you some tips today on intellectual property law. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the entrepreneurs who are joining us, at Founders Live. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you. I know that most of you are not in the business of creating intellectual property for intellectual property itself. You want to provide services and products that are unique and interesting. But I'm here to explain to you and tell you that intellectual property can help you to do that. Unfortunately, we got 5 minutes in this lightning round, so I can only give you a couple of quick tips, but let me go ahead and do that. Tip number 1 is consider initially protecting your intellectual property internally. What do I mean by internally? Well, when you create a group of people that are passionate about creating a technology or a service or a product, you're going to have partners, you're going to have founders, you're going to have co-founders, you're going to have employees. All of these folks need to assign their rights to the entity that you create, the legal entity that you create, so that the IP is bundled together in a legal way. And that way, if there are any disputes with your contractors, with your vendors, even with your employees, the intellectual property itself is still available to the corporate entity and it remains bundled together. In order to do that, you need employee agreements, you need consulting agreements, you need joint development agreements that have an appropriate IP assignment clause. You also need to be able to identify and track your IP. For example, in the virtual goodie bag that we've provided to you, we've got an invention disclosure form that steps you through the process and the information that you need to provide in order to identify and track your intellectual property. The second tip that I'll give to you then is that you need to secure your intellectual property externally. And by that, I mean, we're talking about competitors. We're even talking about non-competitors that may step into your technology space accidentally. You want to create some rights that you can enforce against them if you need to, or be able to share with others via licensing. So consider what sort of mechanism is best suited to protect your IP. Is it a copyright, a trademark, a patent, trade secret, contract, or maybe some combination of all of these things? If it is a patent that you think you need to protect your intellectual property, consider the pros and cons of a provisional patent application. Provisional patent applications can be both quick and relatively inexpensive if done properly. Regarding contracts, non-disclosure agreements and confidential disclosure agreements are very useful and very something you see quite often, but don't consider them to give you absolute protection of your intellectual property. They have a function and a use, but you need to consider all the tools in your toolbox. Moving on to tip number 3, beware public disclosure. In many situations and countries, public disclosure of your innovation or your invention can destroy, before patent filing, or restrict at least, your ability to obtain intellectual property rights. For example, in Europe, which is considered a region that enforces absolute novelty requirements, if you disclose your invention publicly anywhere in the world, before you file for it in some country, you probably will lose your rights to a patent in Europe. Lastly, coming back to NDAs and CDAs, these can help with the public disclosure aspect of intellectual property protection, but don't count on that to be absolute either. Get some advice, use them selectively, and be clever about it. So I'd like to thank you for this opportunity, Founders Live, Nick, and everyone here. If you have some interest in additional information about intellectual property protection, please visit us. We've got a networking shop later today at 5 p.m. EST, or check out our website. And thanks again to everyone here.
Steve, thanks. That's such an important part of getting something up off the ground, making sure that you have ownership of it. I certainly have dealt with a lot of that as a consultant, working with, building out frameworks and so forth that are more kind of thought filled. Can you give me an idea of kind of what's the extent? What does it mean? This is going to sound like a dumb question, but what does intellectual property mean? Like, what's the extent of it? If it's just some idea that I have at the top of my head, I mean, how important do I have to, with what sort of importance do I have to put my ideas down and lock those in and save those?
Right. Well, a lot of startups and businesses have really important ideas that they consider to be the crown jewels or the secret sauce of what they're trying to do. I mean, those are the ones you've really got to focus on. You've got a lot of creative people in these startups, and they've got 100 ideas, but you got to be able to drill down and get to the ones that really make your product or service differentiated from others and enable you in the marketplace to be a win factor. You can envision intellectual property a little bit like real property. We're trying to put a fence around your idea so that others have a hard time getting to it.
Yeah. All right. I got a question from Robinson coming in here. Can you speak a little bit about the laws and the rules in Latin America? You talked a little bit internationally there.
Sure. I mean, the laws in virtually every country are a little bit different. There are some similarities, but Latin America, like virtually every country that's got a significant industrial presence, has intellectual property rules that are valid and enforceable. I know there are questions about some countries in that vein, but I would encourage anyone that's practicing or generating products or services in Latin America to absolutely look into intellectual property. The other thing to think about when you're thinking about intellectual property is you want to enforce it in two places. You want to enforce it where you're selling your products or services and where your competitors are making competitive products or services. So it's not just about where you're located.
Yeah, awesome. Great. Good sign. I also like to, right before we get out of here, one last parting question, exit question here. There's a lot of founders watching. There are a lot of founders and startups, participating here today. What is the biggest mistake that person is making, that organization is making, that you see from your experience?
It's probably two of the things I mentioned in my slides. It's not early on locking down the IP rights to consolidate with your team's ability to transfer those rights to the legal entity, because of course you're all friends, your team, you're not worried about that. Right. But it's really important to dot your I's and cross your T's and get that done so that later on down the road you don't have a problem. And the second thing would be public disclosure. Just know that is the catchword when it comes to thinking about when do I have to do this. I want to spend my resources and my time building my product, building my service. I don't want to spend it on legal fees. So you innately push that down the road, but know that that's a time to think about doing it.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks a lot, Steve. Appreciate it.
Thank
PPB
you.
Law, thanks for coming on board. Thanks for being a partner with us here. Thanks for taking the time with the technology.
My pleasure, and my apologies for my technical.
No worries. I'm dying to know what that is behind you on the floor too. But all right, so Nick, are you there? Hey, buddy. Thanks for.
All right. This has been the first hour. Just has been a wild ride, and we're just getting started. How are you feeling, man? That was pretty back to back to back.
Thank God you were there for us too, to handle my inability to understand anything having to do with the technology. I'm just the pretty face, and next to Nick, that's not good.
Well, really excited to bring in Jasper for a quick message in between. Jasper, how you doing?
Doing well, Nick. Thanks for having me. Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you. Yeah, so everyone, we have Jasper Curia here, and he is going to share with us a very important initiative that when he brought it to Founders Live, we said, you know what? We need to highlight this for Founders Livefest. It's the right thing to do. So Jasper, I give you a few minutes. Let's go at the most a minute and a half, so 99 seconds. Go ahead, my man.
Thank you. It's not only the right thing to do, it's also the profitable thing to do. So my request to you guys is when you're hiring vendors, dev shops, marketing agencies, accountancies, bookkeeping, consider Black-owned professional services companies. It's not altruism. Because many others are overlooking these companies, you can often find diamonds in the rough, very talented companies that will do great work and not charge you an arm and a leg. I like to share the story of the Tuskegee Airmen, the most successful pilot squadron in World War II. They were Black, they were overlooked, but when they were given that chance, they did phenomenal work, and they inspire us today as symbols of excellence. So as a founder building a tech startup, you need help in various aspects of your business. Consider the companies on our site, theblackownnedbusiness.org. How much time do I have left, Nick?
20 more seconds.
Yeah, and then right now until December 15th, we're doing a campaign called Do the Bob. Go to our website and click one of the tabs at the top that says Do the Bob. It's a way to spread the word about what we're doing to promote Black-owned professional services companies. If you could help with that, that would be super. I'm a big fan of Founders Live. I attended an event in 2016. Really like the format. And so,
yeah,
Nick, keep doing what you're doing, man. The world needs more entrepreneurs, and keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Thank you, Jasper. Thank you. Everyone, do the Bob. Find the information online. We'll put it on Founders Live as well. And thank you. I'm so glad to have you a part of this. See you later.
Cheers. Bye. Bye.
All right. And as we transition, we are going to bring in Nico, another Nick, Nico from Argentina. And we are going to take a bio break here. Okay, we are back, and we're almost right on time. So really excited to be announcing the next hour. We are having our special keynote talks, and our first guest here, we have Lucy Fink. I know she's ready, and I'm gonna bring her on. Lucy, how are you?
Hey Nick, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing so good. It's so nice to have you here. So excited for this talk, by the way, everyone. Really, really excited for what Lucy's going to share with us. And so, Lucy, I know you can, pop up your slides there, and we'll get your slides going for your pitch or your talk. And really excited to get going with you here. All right.
Okay.
So. Well, everyone, this is an absolute honor to have Lucy Fink. She is an incredible human. She's, an influencer. She obviously has tried many new things, and she's going to tell you about it. So, Lucy, I'm going to give it to you. Go ahead.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Nick. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited that we are 3 minutes behind schedule, which is just on time in today's world. So this is great. I wanted to give a little bit of a background introduction from myself, just because I'm not sure how many of you actually know me. There are so many content creators out there. So I'm Lucy. I'm a 28-year-old. I live in New York City. The Empire State Building is somewhere just behind me, if it was not quite as foggy today. I create video content for the internet. I really got my full-time start working at Refinery 29 in New York. And over the past couple of years, I've gone off on my own and just been spending my time creating my own brand, building my Instagram and YouTube channel, and operating as an independent content creator. I gave a TEDx talk a few years back all about the power of trying new things and how I genuinely believe from the bottom of my heart that trying new things and taking risks and doing things that I did not know how to do is really what led to my career taking off and getting started and brought me to the place I'm at today. So I always encourage people that they should try new things as well, even the things that scare you, and actually, especially the things that scare you. So I have a little presentation here, and the next slide is actually a video. So I know Nick is gonna pop up to play a couple of videos for me. So this is a little sizzle reel of the video content that I created for Refinery 29. Hey guys, it's Lucy Fink. Every week, you challenge me to change my life for the better. Go big or go home. This week is 5 days of natural remedies. Cold showers, calligraphy, sleeping on the floor, of Halloween makeup. And in this edition, I'm bringing out my inner dancer. I did a bit of research before I went into this. Oh wow, is there a huge fire in here? I'm a video producer at Refinery 29. But every so often, I like to try other people's jobs. This is Lucy for Hire.
And of course, you have to do it quicker, otherwise you get fired.
Not bad for first one.
Yeah? About the same size.
So.
I have never been more ready to do anything in my entire life. Just walking my pizza. So there's my little sizzle reel, and part of the reason I wanted to share that with you is because the main series, actually the 2 main series that I produced and hosted for Refinery 29 were all centered around trying new things. So the first series was Try Living with Lucy. The format of that was like a 5-day experimental challenge series. So in every video, I was trying something new for 5 days. You know, you saw things like 5 days of sleeping on the floor, 5 days of taking cold showers. I really love pushing myself and experimenting in that way. And the other series was Lucy for Hire, where I got to try a whole handful of jobs and see if I had what it takes to do the jobs. being a Radio City Rockette, a hair colorist, a dog walker. I even tried delivering a baby, although that video didn't get to go live. Unfortunately, the woman went into labor before I was home from a trip. So we missed that end of that shoot. But as you can see, I love shooting video content where I'm trying new things, and just generally in my life, I love pushing myself to try new things. So I'm going to talk you through a bit about my career path. I have been out of college for 6 years now. So 2014 was when I graduated from Johns Hopkins University. And at each of these kind of milestone year points in my life was when I took a different leap and made a change and tried something new. So I'm going to take you back to 2014. That was the year I graduated college. I got a job at an advertising agency. I was working at Ogilvy and Mather for a year before I went to Refinery 29. And in that year, this is when I picked up stop motion. And for people who don't know stop motion, you know, it's like claymation, Gumby, Wallace and Gromit, all those old animation films were a form of stop motion. And I discovered how to create stop motion videos using my iPhone and iMovie. And I essentially discovered this art form. One day I decided to take a long day sitting in the Ogilvy and Mather conference room and just learn how to shoot and edit a stop motion. It took me about 9 hours to put together my first video, but by the time I was done, I had completely fallen in love with the art form. And I actually have one more short video for you. It's like a 15-second loop video, but it shows one of my stop motion videos of some pasta being made. Play it. So that's just a short video just to kind of give you an idea of what I mean when I say stop motion. I was making these short 15-second Instagram videos, and at the time, Instagram videos could only be 15 seconds long. So I was shooting these short video bites, putting them on my Instagram account, and brands were seeing them. I was using the proper hashtags. I was blasting them all out to my entire network, and pretty soon I had brands reaching out to me to have me create stop motion videos for them. I didn't know how to create a stop motion before I just took the leap and tried, but I poured all of my energy for months into learning this art form. And eventually, by the time I left that job at Ogilvy in 2014-15 time, I had a little side hustle business where creating stop motion videos for brands on Instagram was paying for my New York City rent in my apartment. And I really just can't emphasize enough how if you had told me a year before that I was going to be making money through stop motion, I would have told you, I don't even know what stop motion is, and I don't know how to do that. But just because I tried and I took the leap, I was able to all of a sudden create a little business out of it. And I'm really convinced that the stop motion animation is part of what helped get me into Refinery 29, because that was very attractive for a video producer to be able to create stop motion videos like that. So now we're going to fast forward to 2015. This is the time when I was at Refinery 29 and I was starting a YouTube series. If you had also told me that I was going to be a YouTuber or create YouTube videos, I would have said, that's not really my aspiration. I don't see myself doing that. I didn't even really have too much of a background of how to do this. You know, in college, I had created a few YouTube videos for the admissions office at Johns Hopkins, but I was not proficient in any aspect of video creation, be it shooting, editing, hosting, writing, scripting, producing, any of that. Excuse the siren, I'm in New York City. So when I got to Refinery 29, I really did not know how I was going to just start a YouTube series out of nowhere. But the thing I said to myself is, you know what? I'm just going to try it. I'm just going to figure it out. I'm a millennial. I know how to hold a phone. I know how to shoot video on a phone. Actually, my first episode of the series was shot on an iPhone, and I just figured it out. I took the leap and I tried it. I could never have known how to formulate a YouTube community without just trying it. You know, you can take courses, you can ask YouTubers, you can talk to people, but until you dive in, get your feet wet, and actually try something yourself, you're never going to know how to do it. So my entire YouTube series, both of them at Refinery, were just complete attempts at, I want to start a YouTube series, let me try. And they led me to where I am today. So that's Try Living with Lucy. I even went as far as saying, you know what? I want the whole series to be about me trying new things. So in every episode, I'm bringing the audience along with me as I try. And same thing with the Lucy for Hire series. 2019 was the next time when I decided I want to try something new here as well. And I decided I think I want to leave Refinery 29 and just go off on my own. Now, here's another perfect example. I had no idea what it would mean to start my own company. I just had to sort of start making the moves before I felt comfortable doing so. You know, everything from whatever any company owner will tell you, all the crazy steps that go into actually creating the corporation, all the legal documents, actually setting up a payroll for yourself, taxes, all the things that I was just used to being an employee at an organization. And now all of a sudden I was my own organization. And now I hire people to work for me the same way Refinery was hiring me to work for them. So all these things, I had no idea how to do it. And I just said, I'm just going to try it. So I left Refinery, and now I create video content on my own YouTube channel. I run my own Instagram account. A majority of my income is from brand sponsorships and brand partnerships and deals on these channels. And I'm just figuring things out on the fly. There's no handbook for how to be an influencer. There's no handbook for how to be a YouTuber. It's all trial and error and actually doing it to learn. So this is just a photo of me now showing, like, I had no idea how to run this account by myself. I had no idea how to build a brand out of myself, but I just tried it and did it. And then 2020, here's another example of this year. Obviously, we've all been thrown immense curveballs throughout 2020. And I decided I want to try something new. What if I don't take what if all of my income doesn't come from brand deals, but what if I start diversifying what I offer as a content creator? And what if I start creating things like educational offerings and online courses? So throughout 2020, I actually created an entire Instagram branding course. If anyone is interested in this Instagram course, it's actually, the cart is open right now. I should have given Nick the link to it, but maybe I'll send it to him after and he can share it. Or if anyone's interested in it, it's on my Instagram bio right now. So my Instagram handle is Lucie, L-U-C-I-E-B Fink, and the link is in the bio for this course. But my friend Marjolaine and I created an entire Instagram branding course for people who are trying to start an Instagram account for a brand or for themselves. And, you know, I didn't know how to build a course. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a professor. I'm just a content creator who likes making videos. But I just decided to do some research, figure out how to build an online course, figure out how to properly market it. And here we are today with a course that we have over 170 students have taken this course so far. And I'm so proud of the whole way it looks. So if anyone's interested in building an Instagram branding course, this would be awesome. And this is just my little final slide. Pulled this from the internet. We all know, you know, we've all seen this diagram before, but if here's your comfort zone, here's where the actual magic happens. And I just couldn't believe in this statement anymore. I genuinely believe that we all spend so much time when it comes to our businesses. We like to spend so much time procrastinating by doing the things that are taking a lot of our time. For instance, constantly checking our emails and just always answering the latest email in our inbox, or doing all these things that are time-sucking yet actually very easy. Like if you actually think about it, checking your email, that's not putting you in an uncomfortable situation. Even though it's taking a lot of your time, it's actually making you just, you know, you're not uncomfortable, you're just cruising through, but you're wasting your time. And I like to tell people all the time, if you want to get ahead and you want to do something, it's actually those little tiny actions that are the most uncomfortable that will get you the furthest. And those take the least amount of time. They just take the most energy exertion from you. So if you really want to start, you know, I like to ask this question: what is that one thing that you've been wanting to do? For a lot of you, I'm assuming it has to do with business and creating your business. I know a lot of people out there want to build their own personal brand. They want to start a blog. They want to start that website. They want to write that book. Whatever that one thing is that you've been wanting to do, if you take anything away from this presentation today, I hope you take the leap and do it. And if you want to watch this little presentation that I just gave in a longer format, you can go to the YouTube channel for TEDx and just type in Lucie Fink and you will see me. Here is all the different places that you can connect with me. I would love to hear from you. Whenever I do presentations like this, it's hard to know who's in here, how many people are in here. You know, who's from all around the world, I don't know. So if you want to reach out to me on Instagram at LucieBFink, shoot me a DM. I always try my hardest to respond to everyone. So I would love to hear from you. And I would love to take questions if anyone has.
Lucie, that is such an amazing message. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know, so everyone, if you have questions for Lucie, please just toss them right in the comments. We will address them. But Lucy, I want to jump in here, and we really only have about 5 minutes for questions, so we'll jump through some things. But and this is going to sound a little trite, but what I really want to get at is when just try it. Is there like a couple steps that you can help people maybe understand that it's really just about getting that momentum going and kind of discovering, oh, I can actually do that. What few things would you suggest someone take if they were going to just get started?
Yeah, so I think when it comes to figuring out an action item step for a journey that you're trying to achieve, I like to think of it as if you're taking a drive across country. So say you're in New York and you're trying to get to a destination in Los Angeles. It's important to remember that we often don't just get in our car and start driving. We take a little bit of time to plan first, because what could happen if you get in your car and you just start driving, you'll maybe get close to your destination, but ultimately you might actually waste time because you're going to get lost on the back roads and you're going to have to stop eventually and enter the address. So I like to say to people, you should take that little bit of time up front to enter the address into your GPS system. That way you know where you're going and you can kind of get there in a straight shot. But the other thing to know about a cross-country road trip is that you're not going to make the leap from New York to LA in one day or immediately. You're probably going to have to stop along the way at different road blocks or, different checkpoints to sleep, refuel, take a break. So I like to tell people, if you are starting a journey and you're trying to get from here to here, first map out how to get from point A to like point A1 and then A2 and then A3. Before you get to Z in the alphabet, there's like little tiny steps. So really think about what's that next step you need to get to by next week to be where you want to be next year. You don't have to dive headfirst and go for the whole year right away. And you probably shouldn't, because you should take those little steps.
Very good point. And, Gary Malcolm has a question on, I can get stopped on doing it perfectly. So for people that are perfectionists, what would you suggest that how should they approach just getting started and actually seeing improvement?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, I understand the desire to want to have things perfectly lined up before you actually dive in. But I can tell you that my mistakes and the times that I actually screwed up and had to reroute and start over, those were my biggest learning points. Those were the biggest hurdles I jumped over that helped me learn better for next time. And so in my world, this would probably be something related to video content. A lot of content creators, anyone that wants to start a YouTube channel or start making videos, will say that they can't get started yet because they don't have the right equipment. I don't have the right light. I don't have the right camera. I don't have, the right editing software on my computer. And they really delay their start time because they're waiting to have all of the tools. When really, we live in this incredible world when it comes to video content where anyone can create a good, decent YouTube video just with a smartphone and with a free editing service like iMovie. So I always try to tell people, like, the mistakes that you're going to make should be mistakes that you make as you're uploading the videos or whatever that the parallel would be in your world. For me, it's like I've made loads of mistakes. I've shot videos that I then accidentally wiped the card clean before I saved the footage to my computer. And then I learned for next time not to format the card until I double check that there's no footage on it. Or I'll upload a video to YouTube and I'll get feedback from the audience that my audio sounds crackly. So then I'll go ahead and get this microphone that is in front of me right now to fix the audio. And now you can see the microphone. So we're just going to leave it there. But yeah, there's, absolutely the mistakes that I've made along the way have helped me discover in real time how to tweak things so that I don't make the mistakes again. But these are not mistakes that I would have known without actually trying.
Right. Lucy, I know time is quick, and it's been such a great opportunity to hear from you. I've really enjoyed getting to know you, and obviously with the Founders Live community now, we're definitely going to be sharing your information and looking forward to working with you further.
Thanks, Nick. It was so great. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to hearing from everyone on Instagram. I hope everyone has a great rest of your week.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Everyone, you can find her information in the swag bag. Enjoy the rest of your day, Lucy.
You too.
Oh man, so good. So good. This has been so fun. Our next presenter, we are pulling up Bill from Now CFO, Bill Sablon, the Founders Livefest title sponsor. And Bill, I know you're there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. You got some slides for us.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and share my screen here for you.
All right. Bill from Now CFO. Hey, before he gets started, everyone, I just want to say to everyone within Now CFO, thank you so much. Not only Bill, but the entire company and organization. As everyone can see, this is Founders Livefest presented by Now CFO. And so we are so happy to be partnered with this great organization. And Bill, I'm going to let you get going with your talk, and we'll be back for questions.
All right. I appreciate that, Nick. I wasn't prepared to follow such a great presentation by Lucy there. I don't have any awesome videos like that, but I'm going to be talking about accounting. So, I think everyone knows accounting is the most exciting topic anyway, right? So really what we're going to be talking about is making smarter business decisions. When you're running a business, that means you're going to be making a lot of decisions. And for a lot of people, that can be exhilarating. It's being in charge of your life and being in charge of your business, but it can also be incredibly stressful. And making informed decisions, not only means that you're more likely making smarter business decisions, but it also is going to give you the confidence that you're doing the right thing. Now, obviously, you're never going to have 100% perfect information. So you're having that intuition or trusting, your instincts, that still matters, but it can't be the only thing that you're relying on. So, we're going to talk about, financial visibility, and that means looking ahead. Warren Buffett has a quote where he says, in business, the rear view is always clearer than the windshield. And what he means by that is it's a lot easier to look backwards and see what your company has done, for the last month, for the last year. But being able to look forward and know the direction your business is going, that's much more difficult. And the problem is being able to look forward is really what you need to run your business. So when we talk about financial visibility, what we're talking about is your financial data is accurate, timely, relevant, and insightful. So you need all four of those aspects within the financial data that you're looking at in order to make these smart business decisions. So I'm going to be talking about kind of 4 critical mistakes a lot of new small business owners make. Honestly, I would say a lot of business owners that have been around for a long time also, make these mistakes a lot. It's something that we get called in quite frequently where they're struggling with one of these, or they're struggling with something, and a lot of times it's because they don't have one of these 4 things in place. So let's kind of go through each one of these mistakes. So the first mistake is simply not establishing a budget, but also then not tracking, your variances against your budget. So there's a common misconception about budgeting that a budget is just telling you what you can and what you can't spend, but it's really much more than that. We always want to stress that when you create a budget, you want to start with your profit goal. So at the end of the year, how much profit do you want to make? Now, for a lot of startups or companies that are just getting started, profit, having a positive profit might not be, in the cards, but you might be looking at it as, okay, for this year, I can't lose more than $50,000, or I can't lose more than $10,000. Whatever that number is that you feel like you have to be at to continue into the next year, that's your starting point. So then you're going to estimate, your revenue for the year. Or if you're a pre-revenue company, you're going to estimate how much money do you think can I raise this year in investment money coming into my company. So if you know that, if you know that number, the money coming in, and you know where you have to be at the end, kind of what's left is telling you then how much you can spend. And so now you've got, let's use round numbers. You're going to say, I don't want to lose $50,000, or I can't lose more than $50,000 this year. I also think I'm going to be able to bring in $50,000 of investment money. Did I lose the screen sharing? All right, there it goes. So what that tells us is you can spend $100,000 and still hit your goal. So now the next step is figuring out what's most critical to you. Where's the most value in spending that $100,000? And you start allocating that money to these different places. You're going to get the most bang for your buck. But you can't stop there. So what you have to realize is this is your roadmap to success. If you could follow that budget, month by month, week by week, you're going to achieve your goal. So if you just do a budget like this is what I need to do, and then you put it away in a drawer, and then check it at the end of the year, it's not really as useful to you. The next thing, managing cash flow. So on this slide we say payroll, but really it just substitute whatever your top cash outlay priority is. So if you're only looking to see if you can cover that next payment, you're really not looking out far enough. If I told you, you're going to have to pay $50,000 10 weeks from now, how many people feel like you could actually come up with a plan to make that happen? But what if I asked you for $50,000 tomorrow? That's going to be a lot tougher to come up with a plan. Your options are extremely limited when you've got a narrower time frame. So always being able to look ahead and plan makes for smarter decisions about your course of action. The third mistake is just that inability to view key financial data on a weekly basis. Now, we all know having accurate and timely financial statements is important, but decisions aren't made on a monthly basis. They're something that's always happening. So you have to be able to review things on a constant basis. For me personally, I run my own business as well. So I run the Seattle and Tacoma Now CFO practice. And I can tell you, every Sunday night, I'm looking at my own dashboard. It's telling me what we did last week, what we're forecasting for the next week. It's got the metrics that are important to me. What's my employee utilization? What's our AR at? What are our collections? What sales meetings do we have on the calendar for the next week? And we take these metrics and we can put them into a single number where I can just look at that number and say, okay, we're looking good, or we did great, or maybe we're lagging behind in one key area. And you don't just take that one number like, oh, well, I missed it, so I'll do better. Now you can start to drill down. Like, okay, why were we weak in this area? Let's figure it out and see how we can do better the next week. And it's just this constant review. So I really recommend figure out what metrics are driving your business and make it a point to review and analyze those metrics on a constant basis. And then the fourth mistake is, this is really the heart of what we're talking about. It's not just about maintaining your books or making sure that your tax return gets filed at the end of the year. It's actually taking your financial information and using it to run your business. That's what we call management accounting. So, when we talk about budgeting and cash flow forecasts and dashboards, that's essentially taking the financial accounting side of things, taking the data and putting it into a form that is useful for you to manage your business. It's to, like I've been saying, to make smarter business decisions. And that's really what it's all about, having the proper mindset. Nobody goes into business to do accounting, right? Everyone's got these great ideas about what they want to do and they're excited about it. And the accounting side of things is just something that has to get done. But what I want to encourage everyone is to understand that the information you're getting out of your accounting is crucial to running your business. It's something that's going to really guide you every step of the way, having that information at your fingertips. And now I would be remiss to not mention to an audience of founders and people involved in startups, that Now CFO also helps with raising capital. So we believe in these kind of 3 steps, the discovery, the development, and the delivery. And obviously there's a lot of things that go into each of those steps. But we really believe that having relevant and insightful financial data, it's going to drive a lot of what you're looking at in each one of those steps. So the discovery or the development, having a cohesive, concise, and compelling investment thesis, you have to understand your financial situation in order to develop that investment thesis. So finally, I just kind of think about the way that you run your business right now. What is really guiding your decision making? What are you basing it on? And how can you do better? Several people have mentioned the swag bags or the treasure chest. Basically, every one of these slides that I had on here that talked about these different things, we've got more in-depth presentations and webinars about each one of those topics. So if you go check out our goodie bag, there's going to be links in there. You can get more information on each one of those. But I've also made appointments available on Calendly that if you want to learn more about any of these things, or if you want to just talk about it with me, I'd love to learn about how I can create a rolling 13-week cash flow forecast. I'd be happy to sit down with you and go through the process and tell you what's important and how you might want to structure it. And of course, these are all over Zoom, so you can anywhere all around the world, feel free to schedule an appointment. And one last thing, added bonus, first 10 people to schedule an appointment with me, I'll send you one of my favorite business books. Whether you want that in Audible format or actual hardcover type book, happy to send that to you.
Bill, thank you so much. I mean, this is amazing.
No, thank you. I appreciate you giving me the time, and we're always happy to be one of the sponsors here at Founders Live. Going on 4 years here with it. Love being a part of it.
Yeah, well, thank you again. Thank you for sponsoring this and being a part of it. And I've swam through all those informations, the links, and everything that you sent us. And man, there's some good stuff in there. So everyone, check it out. And just definitely reach out to Bill or any one of the Now CFO team. We got to get going. So thank you, Bill. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right. Wow. Okay. We are rocking and rolling. And up next, I am going to actually jump in here real quick and, give my updates for 2020 and 2021 for Founders Live. This is so exciting, and I just want to pause and say this is a great, incredible opportunity and event, and I'm really enjoying being here with you all today. Again, fast paced. We're throwing everything at you, and this little segment is really about the future of Founders Live. And I can tell you that it's very bright. I can tell you that it's exciting. But first, a little story. All right, a little Founders Live story. Some of you know this, some of you don't. It might be new to you. But you know what? It was like early 2013. I had kind of come off of a not so great experience starting a company, and I was down. I was down. Essentially, it was kind of the end of that little journey, and I was not doing well. It was not a good time. I was kind of depressed, and I was really frustrated, and to the point where it was like, what's going on? And I was feeling really down. That was like really the end of 2013, and I was kind of looking around, wanting help, just like. There's founders around me, and I'm just like looking for some help. I'm feeling like really lost, and I just felt like I needed to do something. So in early 2014, I just said, you know what? Just like Lucy said, I gotta try it. I just gotta do something. And I was like, hey, you know what? Hey, let's just throw a party. Why not just throw a party? You know? And I started talking to people. I started like asking people if they kind of wanted to help out. Hey man, like, would you want to pitch at this little thing that I'm doing? I don't know. I don't even know what it's called yet, but do you want to pitch? And they're like, hey, yeah, sure, sounds cool. And I started to get some ideas, and I started to put together that if we gathered people together, 5 startups, and we highlighted the emerging startups coming out of Seattle, they each had 99 seconds only to pitch. And we had 4 minutes of questions, and then we voted, and then there was a winner that came out of it. And I started working on this, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, hey, let's have it on a Friday night. So we'll call it Feature Friday. Why the hell not, you know? That's so fun. It was so fun. And March 29th, 2014 was the very first event. It's called Feature Friday. People had fun. We had some 5 presenters from Seattle. This was in Seattle, Washington. And yes, that is the original picture. That is the original. That was from Founders Live, or Feature Friday at the time, #1 in 2014. Yes, it was black and white. It was back in the day. We didn't have color photography. There's another picture a little later on. Man, that was, what I was thinking back then compared to what we're thinking now is just amazing. But these are real pictures, and it was just amazing stuff. So, we started to have this event, and by late 2014, we were having this event every month in Seattle, and it was like, I was just excited, and it was fun. Things were happening. Something was happening. I don't know what it was, but something was happening. So in early 2016, well, geez, like people were like, hey, could we do that thing too? And the plan was like, it was working in Seattle. Maybe it can work in other places. People wanted to pick it up and do the same thing we were doing in Seattle. So I started working again, and I determined to call it Founders Live, and that was in mid 2016. It's when we got going. And so when you look at what it is now, it took shape. We created this brand. We started not only having it in Seattle, but other cities, and it started spreading around the world. You might be watching here. It might be late at night where you're watching this, which is, thank you so much. It's amazing. But we started to spread around the world. These are just a few examples of, the Phoenix, Boston, Minneapolis, looking at Minneapolis, Moscow, Russia. It started to spread all over the place. Harare, Zimbabwe. You might be in Zimbabwe right now. How you doing? Had such a good time when I was there. It's so good to see you all. But here we are. We are powering the pulse of entrepreneurship around the world. It's an amazing story. It's so nice and so great to have you a part of it. But I'm going to walk through some things real quick. Founders Live, we are about inspiration. We're about education. And we're about entertainment. We're combining those 3 things to build something all around the world. As a global social network that also has these live events, this might be new to you. So just so you know, we have city level events that take place around the world. In addition to this homepage of the Modern Entrepreneur, you're on there right now, founderslive.com. That's what we do. You have great videos, articles, chats. There's members. There's all these cool things. By the way, a lot more coming down the line, which I'll talk about. But these monthly events, these happen in the cities around the world. The people you're going to hear a little later, those are winners from their cities. They're also winners from their region around the world. But taking the formula that I tried, just like Lucy said, I tried it in Seattle. It seemed to work. Everything kind of start moving in the right direction. And then here we are. Our mission is to become the industry-defining brand of entrepreneurship around the world. That's what we're doing. So what have I learned? Just a few little things. What have I learned? I've learned that people want to be heard. People want to be heard with their message. A lot of people feel left out. People want to be seen. They want recognition. All right? People want to connect. They lack the proper and intimate connection with people that get them and that they can learn from. And lastly, people want to be successful. Doesn't matter what country you're in. I know when you're watching this in your own country, in your own city, and you deserve success as well. What did I also learn? I also learned that core values are so essential to your brand. These core values are absolutely important. Just reviewing the Founders Life core values. It's about respectful authenticity. That's our #1 core value. We include everyone. And we ask you to be your authentic self and respect others and theirs. But most importantly, we believe that everyone deserves equal opportunity for success, diversity and inclusion. You'll see there's a diversity in our presenters, and we absolutely, that's number one. We focus on people, no matter where they are, what they look like, what skin color, what language they speak. They will be on a Founders Live stage, and they deserve success. Secondly, gather around the campfire. You know what? We're all storytellers. You will see that within and underneath Founders Live is really an ability to craft that story. And if you build your campfire, you build your community and build and find your story, people will follow you. That's what we do here at Founders Live. Thirdly, open the door. We ask you to do great things for people without expecting a return. You know what? It comes back to you tenfold. Trust me. This is nothing new. But I can tell you that I don't know how many, not a lot of people practice this. And through Founders Live, we ask you to open the door for people, do great things, introduce them, help them out. Trust me, it falls back on you tremendously. And lastly, and this is just a kind of the image is a carryover from what we said before, but we're calling it business equals fun. And we just believe that business can be productive and can be fun. And I ask, why not? That's what we're doing today. Business is fun. So where are we now? This is where we're at. So Founders Live started in Seattle, Washington, as you saw with those little drawings, and we've expanded to almost 60 cities around the world. That means we have people on the ground in all these cities that are passionate about Founders Live, and they create those local events. That doesn't mean they happen every month, but we are, and especially with COVID, we're definitely reigniting all those cities. But we're talking about 25 countries that have grabbed a hold of Founders Live's energy, and that's just the beginning. 30,000 people around the world is our reach. You get our messages. I know that. And hundreds and hundreds of events. Okay. You see those dots right there. COVID tried to stop us, but you cannot stop the human spirit from moving forward. Nope. We only got stronger because of COVID. In the last few years, I can tell you right now, we're just warm-ups. We were just setting a little bit of foundation, and here we go. Where are we going now? Where are we going now? This is what you came for, right? We are all about continuing and accelerating the global shift into the next phase of creativity and entrepreneurship. Creative entrepreneurship. That's why we have music on here. That's why we have DJs. That's why we have many, not only artistic and musical, but also obviously technical entrepreneurs. That's the future. I'm going to ask you something real quick. Simple math problems here. There's almost 8 billion people in the world. 8 billion people in the world. And according to research, there's 582, maybe 600 million entrepreneurs. That's what I guess that they're measuring that in terms of entrepreneurs currently in the world. That's roughly 7% of our current population. 7%. Well, I ask you, what if we helped double that number in the next 10 years? What if we doubled the amount of creative, impactful entrepreneurs all around the world? That would be 1.1 billion people in the world that would be considered entrepreneurs. That would be 15%. I think that that's low in terms of the potential of the human, but even doubling the amount, that means that 600 more people would be added to the world markets as entrepreneurs. That's 600 million more businesses. That's 600 million more employers. And oh, by the way, maybe that's 600 million more Founders Live members. Trust me, we will get to that number. It's about you making the decision to start the thing that you have always wanted to start. That's how we get there. It's about people choosing to take the leap, like Lucy said. Just try it. That's what we're here for. And it's, you know what? It's about you telling your neighbor, if you can do it, they can do it too. Okay? If you can do it, they can do it too. That's what Founders Live is about. And then we're really about expanding a framework and a global platform for those people and companies to flourish. So it's not just the inspiration. It's not just the community. It's about a platform that helps them move forward. And that's what we're doing. Look, I can tell you right now, startup resources and marketplace, this is where we're going. This is exactly what is in our future. So if you look at jobs and recruiting, advisors and mentors, capital and funding, marketing agencies to get you what you need in exposure, startup PR to create that story, staffing agencies to get you the people that you need to grow, digital co-working, just like, you know, with Galvanize, and just as Esther was talking about, media advancements, and just you know, we engulf media, obviously. So like, how do we spread that forward? Funding investment funds that we can actually help invest into your companies. Founders Life Foundations to really help build diversity and inclusion. You know, how about founder health and wellness, mental health, emotional health, founder wellness? Like, these are the things that are coming down the pipeline. These are the things that we're already focused on, whether it's partnerships or internally. So how do we do that? Well, this is, I think, a good example and illustration. You can kind of think about Founders Life. Look, everyone, Founders Life is a weird monster. I can tell you that for sure. It keeps me up at night. But what we've identified is these areas. There's these segments of people. You might be sitting there identifying with one, but what we look at here is these 4 segments that we look at. Look, founders, what are you looking for? We're looking for funding. We're looking for mentors and advisors. We're looking for courses that can help us and educate us and move us forward. Trainings, get us to the place that we need to be in terms of our acumen for business, and also community. Give us people around us. All right. Investors, I know you're watching. And we all, as entrepreneurs and founders, are hoping that you're watching. They're looking for deal flow, the data aggregated on a global stage. What's happening, who's getting investment, and who's winning pitches, and all that stuff. They're looking for introductions, obviously investments, and also the community. Professionals, hey, you're out there as well. You're asking yourself, hey, I might not be building a global expanding company, but I want exposure. I want a marketplace. I can list myself. I want leads. I want clients, revenue, education, as well as community. Fans, you all might be out there as well. You might say, hey, I'm probably not going to build anything, but I think this is fun. I want connections. I want entertainment, these events, and I just want community. So we are packaging Founders Live for all those segments. As you can see, this is how we power global entrepreneurship. All right. And what are we rolling out now? What are we rolling out? Well, we have Founders Live premium memberships. You'll see that. I can't touch on this too much, but we are finalizing these packages. They will come into play at the end, in December, as well as into the new year, but jump on them now. Founders Live is going this direction. All the things that you see listed there, they are premium experiences. And then Founders Live Pro, which we started to build out. It's pro.founderslive.com. It's an intelligence platform. We have an index of about 1,000 companies. You have the pitch videos on there. So investors can go in and watch those pitches, and they can connect with you. There's mentors and advisors on there. It's an amazing portal. We're just building these things. They're just at the beginning. And then we're also announcing Founders Live Advisory Circles in partnership with Key Growth Coaching and Consulting. So excited about this. Basically, again, as a premium membership, you're able to join these small groups of peer advisors that you have trusted relationships. You can share information, you can learn from each other, and you can grow together. Founders Live Advisory Circles. If you're interested, jump on there. We actually have one of our networking rooms around this. So you'll hear more about this, but we're excited to launch that in a beta form going into Q1 of 2021. So only taking a limited number of people, actually at the most about 20. So if you're interested, you better get on that list. And again, Founders Live Primetime. So I'm going to run through some things really quickly, but it's really important to know what's going to happen in 2021. So as you've seen and heard, Founders Live Primetime, our city winners go on to regional events. We had 4 this year, but we're breaking it up into 5 regions of the world. You have North America, you have Latin America, Europe, Africa, and Asia. There's these sections, these regions of the world that the winners of all those cities will elevate up and go into a competition around. What we're going to do, though, is have some qualifications to then actually even get to those regional events. Those regional events are on global stage, just as Founders Livefest. This is essentially a little bit of a calendar you can follow through that, basically most of the year is just city events around the world, normal stuff, like on a local level, having those events. The winners qualify into the Primetime and there's some qualifications that then the top of those lists end up going into those 5 events. That's 25 companies pitching, and there will be 5 winners that go on to Livefest 2021 in December of next year. So excited about that. And lastly, we want to announce, everyone, that we are fully partnering with Net Capital, who you heard from Rob earlier today. What does that mean? Founders Live Net Capital. You can now raise money from the crowd through Founders Live. You can now raise money through Founders Live with the crowd by utilizing Net Capital. It's equity crowdfunding. You can open up your round of funding to anyone. What does that mean? That means both traditional investors as well as anyone else that can put money into your company for equity, that wants to support you and grow and have an upside outcome. There's more to come on this announcement. We're so excited about it, but I can tell you, if you combine what I just talked about with Primetime and then Founders Live Net Capital, I think you can put together where Founders Live is going. So for everyone out there, access to capital we know is a challenge. We are here to help solve that for you. We want to help with Net Capital democratize the access to just raising the money and getting the capital you need to operate your business. All right. How does all this change entrepreneurship? Again, continuing and accelerating the global shift into the next phase of creativity and entrepreneurship. This is so exciting. And what is this also about? Uncovering and recognizing the massively overlooked but equally talented people and teams around the world. It's all of you. You might feel like you're overlooked. You might feel like no investors are taking your meetings. Well, that's why we're here. That's why Founders Live's about. But you know what? We need and want you. And I'm just gonna be honest. This is not about Nick Hughes. This is not about me. I did not create Founders Live to get that recognition. I created it for all of you to have that access, for all of you to move forward. That's what I care about. Okay? That's what I care about. So this is about us. This is about a community. This is about all of you doing as much as you can to build Founders Live, just because it needs to be here, as we've heard earlier today. And the access, Africa, South America, Europe, that's where we're going, and let's help elevate the talent around the world. And this is about community. All right? This is about community, building those integral connections in community. So please join in the movement to bring along a friend, and bring a friend or two along. You know why? Because if I can do it, you can do it. I know that. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's tough. That was fun. That was tough, and it's important messages, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to do that. And you know what? There is another segment here that we are going to bring in, and I'm really excited about this. And we have not done this before, but I want to share. I'm going to share my screen once again. Where we are. We are giving a very special award to a few individuals. And, you know, this is an important time. And what I want to say is the core values that I described earlier, they come from a man named Dale Meader. Dale is my business coach, and he didn't come up with them. He simply asked me some questions. And he said, Nick, what's important to you? And I said, it ended up becoming these 4 things. And I've created an award that is for the exemplary leaders or leader who lives out selflessly and shares the Founders Life core values for the betterment of those around them. And I want to bring in 2 people, Andy Lyons and AJ. How are you?
Great to be here,
Doing
Nick.
well. Thanks for having us, Nick.
You're welcome. I want to congratulate you both for just being who you are and sharing the Founders Life core values. When I thought about this, and we wanted to create an award that is now on a yearly basis. that we would give to an individual, in this case two, because I really thought about who of our leaders and the people around Founders Live. Look, you've been around for quite some time. You've been incredibly consistent, and you both just live these values. And I just want to give you the award and say thank you so much. And I want to give you a few minutes and let's go Andy Lyons first, to say a few words and really, what does Founders Live mean to you?
Hey, first of all, I am so honored by this award to be sharing it with the extraordinary Andy Jacques, my co-host. It's been a pleasure since the July of 2018 to bring this incredible monthly pitch event to the Boston community, to help 5 featured founders every month up their game, present to our local community, which, as you may or may not know, Boston has a very thriving startup community. And it means the world to us that we have the support of this global platform to add wind, not just to our local founders, but add wind to them globally. And then as a leader, as a co-city leader, connecting with all the Founders Live folks is truly an honor and a privilege through our monthly meetings and enhancing everything that we get to do. So thank you, Nick. And it's so great. I am thrilled.
You're welcome. Thank you. And Boston has always been a city that I'm just like, I point to the example to other city leaders and I say, you got to go, watch their events, or, you're so consistent. And so, AJ, tell us a little bit about that and just, your thoughts as well.
Yeah. First of all, definitely want to say thank you, Nick, for the award. I actually thank you to the entire Founders Live community. You guys have been great tuning in to our monthly event, even when COVID started and you probably had kids in the background and you're preparing dinner. You guys still tuned in to support us, and we're extremely grateful. But to answer your question, Nick, what Founders Live means to me, I think it's really personal. That's specifically why Andy and I started the chapter here in Boston, because we believe in the power of community. And we felt that, as entrepreneurs ourselves, that the power of community is extremely, extremely useful. The energy and the inspiration doing this event gives us to just keep on working hard towards our own missions in our own businesses. It's second to none. And again, as founders ourselves, the learning curve that we actually experience doing this event every month, and it's just phenomenal listening to the pitches every month. It really sharpens our game every day in our daily operations of our own companies. And that's really the value that the Founders Live community, not only in Boston, has given me, but nationwide and even global. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's a special time. And, when I started to think about the short list of individuals that I felt, especially this year, this was a tough year, but Boston, you were the first ones to jump into virtual. You were the first one. You basically said, this ain't going to stop us. Here we go. And you were leaders to me. And that is so valuable. And so I just thank you so much.
Well, thank you for rising to the occasion, Nick, because I know founders everywhere, this has been a really tough time, and we've had to find ways to pivot our business, and we have to stay flexible. The destination doesn't change, but how we get there does. And so we get to witness right here in front of all of us how Nick Hughes has led Founders Live to an even greater presence. And it turns out it is a gift, because as a result, Founders Live will reach more people and enhance more entrepreneurs' lives. It's fabulous.
And thank you. And thank you for also being so transparent. The story you gave earlier, that was my first time hearing it in 2013, how you were pretty much down and out. And I could believe that many entrepreneurs this year, over the past 9 months, 10 months, have been feeling the exact same way. And I feel like that's what this platform provides them,
Yeah.
that information, the uplift, lifting that they need every single day to just keep on going. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Well, thank you both. We got to move on, but it's so great, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Oh, so beautiful. So great. Well, everyone, we are on to our next bio music break. We're going to bring Nico back in. You can take a few minutes. We'll be back here in about 3 or 4 minutes, and we'll get ready for the pitch competition.
Está todo bien, muchachos, pero yo tengo memoria. Y ahora voy a recordar una gente. Para los que no creyeron en esta selección, para que me trataron a mí.
Okay, here we are. Here we are, and so excited for our third and final event on streaming, and then we will get to our networking rooms. But we have in front of us such an amazing, fun, exciting pitch competition. And I wanted we're going to walk through a few things real quick in terms of the lineup. So excited. We have Elke from Latin America in Mexico. We have Fiveable representing North America. We have Brain Racers representing North America. We have Air representing Latin America. And we have Lamazi Tribe representing Europe and Africa. These are the sections and the regions that I illustrated earlier. Like I said, we're going to break up Europe and Africa as their own going into next year. But hey, here's what we're going to do. Each individual will have 99 seconds to pitch. They will walk through their pitch. We then have 4 minutes of questions with them each. Yeah, maybe 3 to 4 minutes. We'll probably trim that down a little bit based on timing. You ask questions. We'll get that in a second. But then at the end, we're all going to vote. So there's a button on Founders Live under your screen. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link under your screen. We will share it also in the comments. You can scan it with your phone. So there's many ways you can vote. All right. We want to thank Patent Portfolio Builders again. The winner's package, there is $2,500 US cash. Thank you so much for courtesy of PPB Law. Also $2,500 in legal services provided by PPB Law. So also, we're going to cover from Founders Live coverage, media coverage, getting exposure, some PR that you'll get, as well as premium homepage on Founders Live. We will celebrate you for the entire year of 2021 and a free Founders Live startup premium membership to the winner. And you, as the audience, please participate. I'm going to ask you probably more than once, but hopefully I don't have to. Okay? You participate, comment in the questions that you've seen. We've been popping them on the screen. Ask the questions because that's how we actually engage with the founder and the Q&A, okay? So please, when they're pitching, maybe throw up a question or two so we can start driving through these questions. There is a little time lag, so just be aware of that. And that's how we'll take them in the comments, in the chat sidebar chat of YouTube. If you need to open it from Founders Live, just click that button real quick. Click that button, that's right there. It will open up a new tab for YouTube and you ask questions. And again, like this video on YouTube, like this video. It helps us get exposure. It helps us get reach. Here we go. Are we ready? It is showtime. And the first one we have is Elke. And so I'm going to find her. And, well, Elke, Irene, there is Irene. We're going to bring her up. And she is right here. Irene, how are you?
Very good. Thank you, Nick. I look so ready. I'm so happy. I'm going to share my computer. Oh my goodness.
It's so nice to have you. And we're so excited here. We are in the pitch competition part of it. And let's see, you just share your screen there and we'll get you going. And we'll pop that up. And yeah.
Just give me a second, please. Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So for everyone, Elke comes from Guadalajara, Mexico. So excited about this. And if you checked out any of our videos that we presented to you previously, you would have learned a bit more about Elke and everything that they're doing. Here we go. And we see your screen. When you are ready, Irene.
Yeah, just give me a second. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Perfectly?
Yep, I can hear you.
Perfect.
Yep.
Thanks, Nick. I'm ready.
All right. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay. Maria just finished yelling at her daughter at the top of her lungs. She looks into her baby's eyes and wonders, what am I doing? This is what my father did to me, and now I'm doing it to my daughter? I'm damaging her self-esteem. Child abuse is a systemic problem in Latin America and the US. Research shows that proper care in these tender years of 0 to 6 increases empathy, self-confidence, and can bring more peace in the world. Because of this, we created Ellie, a virtual assistant for parents and caregivers that answer their parenting questions in real time in a familiar group of WhatsApp, helping them in these most difficult moments because it is not easy. Our goal is to impact 6 million children in these markets. And so we're incorporating artificial intelligence to predict risk situation in the development of the children and guide these parents for just $5 per month per children to have that extra support when maybe someone wants to spank or have verbal abuse to stop, because it is not worth it. We will help them to breathe through. Starting our MVPs, we have provided over 72,000 hours of accompaniment, and we have been the emotional support because anxiety is arising due to COVID-19. Ellie is available in Spanish language, and we have customers in Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, and the US. We're looking for an angel investor to help us to end the unnecessary cycle of family abuse. Join our community. Try our prototype. I'm Irene Velasco, CEO and founder of Herky. I hope we get your vote.
Great job, Irene. Great job. So great. And hey, everyone, ask the questions through the comments. Here we go. And we're gonna touch on this first question. Is coming from internally. Is what is your go-to-market strategy? What would you say, like, as you are bringing this to the market, how are you actually reaching those initial customers?
Yes, yes, it's very difficult when we have an innovative service to reach these early adopters. We are aware of that. And now we are doing a publicity of public relationships with micro-influencers and Instagram social networks that they can help us to promote these services. They are using this service, and they are having the experience to have Ellie as accompaniment. And this is one of the first steps. And after that, we're going to do a social network marketing, social marketing inbound. And I think these are our two more close steps to do.
Very good. And are you working with CPS or other government organizations, Child Protective Services? Are you working with any government organizations on that?
We have done many, we have had many meetings with the government here in Jalisco. And also we are trying to do something together. It is not easy, because government has their own steps and requirements. And also we are in a very new stages. Then yes, the answer is yes. We are also working with the Inter-American Bank to work together, not only for the vulnerable people and the parents, also for the ethical artificial intelligence. And we're trying to go deeper for the public policies also with some associations here in Mexico, of course.
Very good. So, how do you prevent users from skipping the middleman? And what that means is, let's ask it differently. Like, what is the unique, tremendous value that Ellie brings that maybe they couldn't use in other products, or just being able to work around your product?
Yeah, one of the things that we were working with all the people in the entrepreneurship that we are trying to make a offer of value with this product is that we find that we don't have the support network in the time when we are at home, and when we are in the intimacy of that time, when the schedule is not in the office hours and nobody is going to answer the phone. Then for sure we have many psychologists in this network of people that we know, and they cannot answer because that calls are not like contract, then this is a gap in all the industry, or maybe not industry, but in all the and all these kind of services that we provide that nobody is reaching. Then for sure, we know that the counseling with professionals, we have to have it. We're not a substitute. We're a complementary service. And also, we work together. We have psychologists and we have another kind of therapists working together with this kind of program. Then this is a complementary group program for all the things that are the solutions that we work together right now.
Well, very good. Irene, that is the time. You did excellent, and it's such an this is a great product. Excited to hear more about it as the years go on, but congratulations on your pitch today.
Thank you very much, Nick. I'm excited to see the other pitch. See you soon.
Yeah,
Bye,
you're
everybody.
welcome.
Bye.
Perfect. That was a great start. Here we go. All right. So our next presenter is coming from the North American region, and this is Fiveable, and we have 10. 10, I'm bringing you up here. Let's see. There you are.
Hey guys, greetings
How are you
from
doing?
Milwaukee. Good. How are you?
Yeah, doing well. All right, 10. So 99 seconds. You know the drill, and I'm gonna drop off here, but you can start whenever you're ready. Sound good?
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having us here. Hi, everybody. Greetings from Milwaukee, representing the Midwest of the United States and North America. My name is Tan. I'm the Chief Experience Officer at Fiveable, and we are a platform building online learning communities for high school students. So as you all know, some of the educational inequities that exist are super prevalent, especially right now. And a lot of the questions and comments that we hear from students are along the lines of, okay, how do I navigate all of this by myself? Or I might not have parents or guardians to help me go through all of these steps like college, all these things. And what happens if I fail, right? There's immense pressure right now to really succeed in everything that they're doing. So at Fiveable, we're building learning communities where we're connecting students to learn together. So whether you're in rural Tennessee or in, across in Europe, we are here to help connect you to other students who are studying the same things as you. So in the first market that we're trying out, we started with APs, but we're rapidly expanding into more student life and student experiences. But some of the ways that we provide help to students is through high quality resources, instruction, and access to some pretty awesome educators around the world, and then community through chats, forums, and collaborative projects. We started back in 2018 with just a couple thousand students, and now to date, we just have hit over 2.6 million students as of a couple minutes ago. Our business model is $5 per stream, and then $25 for a cram pass. And then as we expand outside of APs, some of the areas that we can explore are academic support, electives, career exploration like UX, UI. There's a lot of students who are interested in product design, et cetera. And as of date, we've raised 3.5 million.
All right, let's hear it for Fiveable. Great job, Tan. So awesome. So we are taking questions from the audience, just like we did last time. So everyone just type in there. My first question is, talk to us a little bit more about, as in terms of target market, is this for college students, high school students, grade school students? I know that you touched on it a little bit, but in terms of online learning communities, what is the age segment that we're talking about initially?
High school students to start, but there's always room for expansion into college, right? Because if you think about the student life cycle, it is from like K to 12 to college, then eventually their careers. So we want to be in a space where we're filling all of those gaps. And the best place to start is high school, where it's such a pivotal moment in their lives.
Very good. How has COVID and the remote learning, how much has that impacted Fiveable? And obviously, there is dynamics different now than there was a year to 2 years ago, but talk to us a little bit about the COVID impact.
Yeah, I think COVID just really brought to light a lot of different things, right? But I think the most important is that feeling of isolation. Students can't get help like they would in the classroom. They can't just walk up to their teacher and ask for advice or help or any of those things. And so that's why we have become so much more community oriented, especially with the new platform we'll be launching. And so, you know, again, we get a lot of a lot of comments from students talking about, I'm lonely, I don't have anybody to talk to or study with. And we are trying to make that experience a lot less daunting.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Gary asks, are you working with school districts? I mean, do you have specific agreements, partnerships? You know, maybe this is a little more about go-to-market, but tell us a little bit about working with school districts specifically.
We'd love to work with anybody, especially schools and districts that are interested. For schools, we have cram passes or cram sessions that will come up in the fall. But especially in our new platform too, there'll be spaces for classrooms to be created on there for teachers to kind of have a space with their students that also ties in all of the content. But in terms of this upcoming spring for AP exams, we have the cram passes and then the 5-hour reviews. So if you go on Twitter, type in hashtag 5-hour-gang with the number 5, you'll see a bunch of students from last year who really speak to that experience. And we want to make sure that, you know, students from any school in the US or around the world that offers APs has access to that.
Very good. And last question, how do you match students? Is there some criteria that you might connect them together in maybe networks or communities or little groups?
Yeah, so right now it's more about, you know, matching students up to communities and then connecting those students with similar interests or similar classes to each other. And that comes in the form of like personalized recommendations for groups to join or communities to join. And so that's how we do it at the moment. It's not as much individual, it's more, you know, matching clusters of students together.
Very good, very good. Well, hey, Fiveable, great job. We're so excited for you. And, you know, this has been an amazing, you know, hey, great second pitch and stick around and, you know, good to hear from you all.
Yeah, thank you so much. Excited to hear from everybody else. Bye.
Congratulations. All right, we are moving on. 2 great pitches down, 3 more to go. So our third in the process here, we have GK from Toronto, Canada. GK, I'm pulling you on. Do you hear me?
Awesome. Hi, Nick. Hi, everybody. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, man. Good
Great.
to see you.
Likewise.
How's it going?
Good. Everything's great. Yeah, great event so far. Thanks, Nick. Yeah. Awesome.
Good. Well, share, you know, make sure you get your slides going there. Share your screen, get ready. And
when you can see them. I'm sharing, and let me know when you can see my screen and my slides, please.
We got it. Yeah. All right. So GK, you've done this before. You know the drill, and we got you 1 minute 39 whenever you are ready.
Thank you. At Brain Races, we are creating massive multiplayer brain championships. We want to celebrate brain athletes like we do physical athletes in the world. Everybody knows Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Serena Williams. But how many of you know Alex Mullen, world memory champion, or Buzzy Cohen, longtime Jeopardy champion? Usually, not a lot. We want to change this with an entertaining esports platform that celebrates brain performance, where brain athletes and brain champions become superstars. At the core is a first-of-a-kind cognitive race with knowledge and cognitive skills-based questions that will challenge the mind in creative ways. Brain games attract millions of players and viewers repeatedly over time. Long-term games like Jeopardy, new games like Mental Samurai have millions of viewers in 2019. This translates to a cognitive esports market expected to cross 5 billion in 3 years. This is a brand new market we want to pioneer. Our beta, a few thousand users have been playing. Daily engagement and retention is our focus. Both have crossed 40% this year. Community is a big focus. We have 15,000 followers in our reach, 2 influencers signed with 1.5 million followers, and 40 engaged ambassadors in our Brain Squad. Our team is a mix of game creators, operations specialists. We have a strong technology team, a content team led by a teacher, everybody driving this vision forward. Our revenue will come from live ops gaming and through an entertainment pillar like merchandise streaming, and we expect 15 million in 3 years. We've been recognized at different competitions. People believe in what we're doing. We hope you do as well. My name is GK, and we are Brain Racers. Thank you.
Nice job, man. Nice job. We're all cheering for you. So good. So good. We got the first question here, but hey, everyone, make sure you're typing them and we'll get that going. But, talk about the difference between the high level kind of elite competition usage as well as casual usage, because we're talking about cognitive here and anyone can improve cognitively. So let's dive into that a little bit.
This is a great question. Thank you for whoever shared this. So we look at casual usage. The main goal is to create awesome competitions where anyone can play against each other, whether it's friend circles or we have leagues, which are more like, not for the elite players only, but anybody wants to come compete. They can see their cognitive insights based on all the data that's being collected and calculated. So that is what we expect from the casual usage players, social gaming and cognitive improvement. The elite high-level players, this is where people will come and compete. They will win and have a chance to go to bigger championships, and then even bigger championships, hopefully a sort of brain Olympics in the future. So these elite players, they will drive the viewership. They will become the superstars, the idols, like Michael Jordan, right? And the beautiful part about idols is they lift industries. Michael Jordan took basketball to new heights, and we hope our elite players, the future brain racer champion, Nick Hughes, the elite player, he will raise brain racing and intellectual competitions to new heights. So I hope that kind of clears up our approach to those sectors.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you for wrapping me into the story. And even though I'm pretty busy, but I definitely enjoy brain racing. What is the pricing model for everyone thinking about this? Is there a pricing model, and who'd be the customer?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, a great question. So one of our focuses is the middle school age group. Our content, it has a lot of relative, relatability to that age group. And for them, we will create different packages where they can strengthen their, cognitive foundation or knowledge foundation, and they can pay for specific, in-app value as well. And that pricing model is going to be through in-app purchases. So different items will have different values. So it could be content packs for $1 or $5, or we could have like very curated races for a higher price point. The other side, which is the entertainment route, this is where we go after sponsors, merchandise, streaming. So we already have signed up 2 sponsors for our monthly tournaments, and we plan to then launch streaming, and we'll figure out what the exact revenue rates will be for the streaming side. So sorry, Drobish, Ken, I believe that's you. I don't have the exact number for that, and I don't want to but that is something the way we're thinking, and we're going to test and learn and figure out what is the right pricing model for that route. But that's the approach we're taking.
Very good. Well, even though not a lot of questions, we've got, this is awesome, captivating, congrats, go Brain Racers. So, hey, this is good stuff. GK, thank you so much. Keep doing the good stuff up there in Canada, and stick around.
Thank you. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, everybody. Cheers.
Yeah. How about that? So cool. So cool. All right. We are moving on. And our fourth presenter, we have Air from representing Latin America. We have Paula Ortega. Paula, let me know when you can hear me.
Hi, Nick. How are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. There you are.
Awesome. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you. Feel free to share your screens. Share when we can bring up your slides. We'll get that going. Very excited here. And Paula comes from Mexico City. So cool. Such a great country. And we at Founders Live don't build walls. We break them down and we connect everyone in the world, especially Mexico and the United States. So thank you so much for being here. And Paula, when you are ready, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Nick. Companies are living organisms. Therefore, they are constantly suffering changes, both internal and external. Because of that, they are frequently developing customer-centric strategies in order to fulfill their clients' needs. But what happens with the engine of the company, the people who actually make the car run? Employees. Meet Melissa, an HR director who is responsible that the waters stay calm and employees perform their best. Her company recently experienced a CEO change, and Melissa wants to know in real time how everyone's feeling about it. She hires AIR, Employee-Centered Decisions Real Time. AIR is a SaaS model survey for internal use that uses the power of artificial intelligence to deliver instant results. Immediately, Melissa can see what's hot and what's not. All the employees answer in their own words what they are really thinking and needing from the company. Automatically, the algorithm starts to analyze their response. So it can give Melissa a dashboard where she can see the areas of concern that they need to address pronto. She takes that information and goes by department, where she finds out that the marketing team is okay with the transition, but the sales team is a bit worried. And within the sales team, the boomers are not okay with the new company values, but the millennials just need a bit more information. Now Melissa has a pulse, and as the leadership change is going on, she's able to quell the waters because turbulence occurs constantly in these living organisms called companies. Thank you for listening, and we'd love to have your vote.
Great job, Paula. Great job. Yeah. So first question comes from Story Fruition, and that is, are the names anonymous, or what sort of identification are we talking about here?
Yes, it's completely anonymous. We have at the beginning of the survey a bit of identification questions just to get demographics, to know what area they are, what age they are, how long they have been in the company. But if the company is too small, for example, they have 15 employees, we shorten those demographics in order to maintain anonymity. It's very important that employees can type in their own words and say what they are really thinking, because they're backed up with the anonymity.
Very, very good. Anna asks, is the offer international or only applicable and available in Mexico?
It's international. Actually, right now we have a Spanish version and an English version of the survey, and we can customize it to other languages. And since it's a digital model completely, we have no problem expanding to any country.
Very good. Zeisler, that is actually Nicholas. How you doing? Good to see you. You mentioned CX. Can this be used for external customer-based inputs as well? So basically, is this more of a specifically an internal tool, or can it be used as external tool as well?
AIR is an internal tool for companies because it's completely, it's value proposition, it's employee-centered decisions, but artificial intelligence and the algorithms that we use in machine learning and all those AI tools can be applicable to customer-based inputs.
Very, very good. You know, how much people are there working in AIR? How big is your team at this point? And, you know, are you looking to bring on more people at some point?
At some point, definitely. Right now, we are 8 people. We are 8 base people, and we have other 4 external people who are helping us with design stuff and programmation and stuff. But we are 8 fixed and 12 the full team.
Very good. Well, Paula, yeah, this has been so great. You did such a good job. AIR is definitely needed, and you know, you're illustrating there that you know, when you look at the these demographics of employees, you know, we need ways to not only measure appreciation and happiness, but our employees are our most important asset. So you're building a tool to be able to help that. So good job.
Exactly, because it should be sometime, as we talked last time, something to measure next to the return of investment and next to other business data that we have.
Very good. Yes. Well, Paula, thank you so much. Stick around and yep. All right. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Okay. Woo. We are rolling along, and we have our final presenter. We have Destiny. Destiny, I'm bringing her on. Destiny, let me know when you can hear me, representing Nairobi, Kenya.
I can hear you.
Are you there? All right. There you are. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm a bit sleepy because here it's around 12:05. A bit anxious and ready at the same time.
Yes, it for everyone. Hey, look, it's really difficult when you got to pick one time for a global event. We had to pick a time, and for Destiny over there in Kenya, it's past midnight. So let's give her a huge round of applause. So excited, Destiny. Bring up your slides, and we'll walk through those. Really excited for you to do that. And man, I mean, this is not only is this amazing for look at this. You got some support right here. Lamazi tribe, so exciting. Here we go. All right, and we are just getting your slides here whenever you're ready.
One
go
moment.
Destiny. Oh, we got him. There you are. There you are. All right. Okay, Destiny, when you are ready, on your start, we will start the time.
Okay. My home is Ngong, which means the spring of the rhinos. It has retained its pristine beauty and biodiversity, which has inspired some of the Kenya's elite long-distance runners like Paul Terga to set global marathon records. Sadly, my home is also among the many towns that are facing plastic pollution. A lot has been said about plastic pollution in the oceans, but little about it in some of the oldest regions of our planet. Did you know that plastic takes about 500 years to fully degrade? This is where Lamazi tribe, meaning beautiful community, comes in. Our vision is to clear plastic waste and preserve our environment. At Lamazi tribe, we see plastic as a resource, and our unique selling point is that we use polyester extracted from the plastic bottles to make stylish activewear products that are designed for ease, comfort, and most especially inclusive, which means that it meets the African plus size market. Yes, as a plus size woman myself, I know how difficult it is to get a pair of leggings. We will be the first activewear brand in Kenya and in East Africa to use recycled polyester. We will leverage Kenya's elite athletes who are recognized globally as brand champions for our sustainable activewear. We are reinventing the wheel and enhancing the circular economy by using recycled polyester, which reduces our dependency on petroleum as raw materials. We are in line with SDG 8, 11, and 12. We are currently seeking funding through investors who share in our vision to create a better future for all. I conclude by stating that we can't wait any longer to start making eco-friendly choices. It is now or never because there is no planet B.
No planet B. Absolutely. Destiny, so good. For being after midnight, you just totally nailed it. You did such a good job. The first question we have, will activewear be made 100% of recycled polyester? So maybe talk about a little bit more about like the clothing aspect of it. What else would it be involving if not just 100% polyester?
Okay, so part of our design thinking is that we will mix the polyester with elastane and spandex, for the stretching purposes. So we'll not work with 100% polyester. So we will blend it with elastane and spandex.
Very good. Other than activewear, will you have other products that you produce? Like what are you thinking in the future product development, or is it just activewear at this point in time?
Because we are thinking of sustainability, we want to introduce other eco-friendly fabric like bamboo and cotton, organic cotton. So as we expand to produce other products, we seek to use bamboo and organic cotton, hemp, just to mention a few.
Oh, thank you. Very good. Luis is asking, the recycling process, is there anything you can share that you maybe have found that's working that possibly other companies haven't, or is there something you could share about that?
Sorry?
Yeah, is there about the recycling process? Tell us a little bit more about what you've discovered in that recycling process that seems that you can now create these like clothing activewear products.
Okay, so for recycled polyester, we know now, especially for sports apparel manufacturers, most of them use polyester, the virgin polyester. So for the recycled polyester, it's quite expensive to source it. But in terms of the contributing to carbon footprint, it helps in reducing the production of carbon to the environment. So for us, what makes us stand out in the use of recycled polyester is that we are using, or rather, we are helping in using 55% less of energy in the production, and over 30% of house gas emission is reduced. And also another thing is the use of water consumption is reduced when we use recycled polyester. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it did. And we're going to go with the last question. What would you say will be the overall impact of Lamazi Tribe? Let's talk about the vision a little bit.
So one is to clear millions of cubic space of landfills that are filled with plastic pollution. And secondly is to also provide income for young youth, because here in Kenya, more than 60% of the youth are not employed. So we want to offer employment opportunity, and then also reduce the million cubics of landfills that are filled with plastic pollution.
This is a beautiful, beautiful vision. I know that you can do it, Destiny. Great job so much. Great job.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, everyone, that is Lamazi Tribe from Nairobi, Kenya, and you have stayed up so long, and it is just like, I understand it, but sometimes that's business, right? That's business. So stick around for what we have next, okay? Bye-bye. Wow, that was amazing. And you can just see from all of this, from so many supporters there. Great presentation, yes, and we will definitely, absolutely agree. So, for everyone here, what do you think time is it now? It is time to vote. We are collecting votes right now. It is time to vote. So you have this QR code, which I'm going to pull back on very quickly. I'll push this back on, but you also have the box. You have the button below the box here on Founders Live. We will share that link on the YouTube channel as well. So we'll post that in a second. But it's time to vote. We're going to take a few minutes. We're going to bring back Nico as the DJ. We're going to put some music back on. We're going to spend about 5 minutes, another bio break, and voting. And let's see who is the global champion for 2021. All right, here we go. We got music.
We were four guys that I met Paul, said, do you want to join my band? And then George joined. And then Ringo joined. We were just a band who made it very, very big. That's all.
All right. And we have a winner. We have a winner. It obviously is close, as you can see, but we have a global winner on our hands, everyone. And we are going to bring up Paula Ortega from Air. Paula Ortega needs to come back into the backstage that we want to highlight her, but you can see right there the live votes. You can see how close this race has been. Everyone did such a good job pitching, but Paula, we need to get you back in here and we need to it's time to celebrate. So oh my gosh, this is absolutely amazing. Our winner, Paula Ortega. So Paula, it's time for you to come back into the studio. My gosh. Congratulations, Paula.
Am I here yet?
Yeah, I am here. We can hear you. Paula, congratulations.
Yay, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh.
So excited.
How do you feel right now?
Really excited. It was so close, the voting. Amazing.
Oh, it was so close. You did such a good job. How do you just talk to us a little bit here. Talk to us. How do you feel right now?
I feel very happy. I feel very honored and very proud to be here, to have been doing all the different stages of this competition. I think I learned a lot in every stage. I mean, the pitching, first in Spanish, then in another language, and then going global. With all the props and the help that you guys at Founders gave us in air, I think we grew a ton more than we would have not if we weren't here. So it's been an amazing opportunity. This is as I say, I'm just the one who's in front of the camera because only one person can be here. But this goes to my partner, Patch, and all the team, the 8 and the 12 people that are working in air. Congratulations, guys. Thank you so much for your hard work. This is amazing news.
Yeah, it's so cool. I'm so proud of you. And look, everyone listening, everyone watching and listening, that, look, if you're in the United States, a lot of times you're only using one language, and you had to, you have great English, your dialect is great, your dictation is great, and you pitched early as Spanish in your early events, and even the Latin America regional event was in Spanish, and now you come here and you have to talk in English, and you did such a good job.
Thank you very much. It's kind of hard to speak so fluently in another language. I get stuck sometimes, but it was a challenge, and I enjoyed it very much. It was amazing to be able to participate with all the startups right now. They're amazing. I mean, that's why they're here. That's why they're at that stage right now. But it was an honor to co-participate with all of them.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, and thank you, Nick, for all your support.
You're welcome. So you get a winner's package. So you get $2,500 US cash, and that's so cool. And then
PPB Law for that.
Yeah, thank you, PPB Law, and you also get some work with them as well. So we'll make sure you get that package, and then we'll talk about some things to do for some of our Founders Live media stuff over the next few months as well. But I just want to wish you well again, and congratulations. This is just the start for you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you everyone who voted and who followed us here.
All right. Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, man. So great. Have to say that everyone, for all of you presenters, thank you all. So amazing. You all are winners, but yes, this is a competition. But all the presenting companies were amazing tonight. Great exposure for you and your startup and your team. So I want to thank you all for participating. I want to thank the Founders Live team, especially our internal team, Luis, Allison, Nicholas, where I'm going to bring Zeisler back on. So turn on your cameraman and you're going to come join me again. But I want to thank, Robinson, who you saw in the messaging. I want to thank Evan, who may or may not be watching from London. I want to thank Carlos. You saw him in the messaging. Carlos, you were such a help for all of that. I want to thank you all, everyone that has been a part of Founders Live internally. We're building our team out, and you all are so helpful on that. Again, the whole thanking everyone. I don't want to miss people, so I'm just going to move on. I'm going to bring Z back on. Nicholas, what's going on, man?
Hey, buddy. How are you? Great.
How do you feel about this?
I'm excited. It's a lot of fun. It's great being part of the first one of these, and of course, it's awesome to see, just like you said, all of those. Everybody's a winner, if you will. It was a lot of fun, and definitely so much stuff going on. Right.
It's just, yeah, it's amazing. It's been so cool to be a part of this, everyone. This was our first summit, and we pulled it off, but it's not over yet, right? It's not over yet. First of all, I want to let you all know we are expanding big time. So expand.founderslive.com if you want your city and your country to run a Founders Live and be a part of this global movement. There's a link also on, we'll make sure you get this as well. But if you just type in expand.founderslive.com, definitely if you want to be a city leader to start this event, let's do it. We're excited. 2021 is going to be all about that. And hey, what are we doing now? Jump into the networking. The hallway is right below this main stage page. Jump into that networking. I will share that link with. I will try to share that link on here as well. But get into those rooms. You can see there's 11 rooms. You can jump in and out of them as well. If you feel like you want to kind of surf around and just check out all these rooms, feel free to do that. We have our partners that have set up, and they are running those rooms. So definitely jump in there, meet people, talk, learn about what's going on in the room, ask questions, all that. Nicholas, I want to give you a last word and your thoughts here today.
Oh, well, Nick, it's just exhausting. I'm so happy to have been, like I said, happy to have been part of it. It's great to be part of this community. You and I have known each other almost a year now. I guess we're coming up as we round into 2021, and I'm just so excited to see how Founders Live is expanding and how it's evolving. Especially, just like the founders, just like our members need to evolve, and they need to be dynamic in the way that they are interacting and reacting to their customers and their markets. So are we. I'm so excited to be part of this customer-driven, this customer-focused, this member-focused organization as we go forward. As exciting and as cool and as fun as this event was, plus the 5 regional engagements and events that led up to us, I'm even more excited for what's to come. I'm looking forward to delivering on behalf of our members, building out this community and building value for founders, professionals, funders, and fans. Everybody, Nick, just like we were talking about, that those 4 dimensions that make up this Founders Live community. And great things are coming up in 2021, and I can't wait to be part of it. I can't wait to roll this out on behalf of all of our members.
Oh, good. Yes, thank you all. Thank you. Thanks for joining me, man. You definitely are made for this. And one more little message. What else would you be able to provide everyone else, just as they've been seeing you do this today?
Yeah. Well, we're rolling out a new organization called VO21 Media, which offers voice and announcing as well as hosting and all sorts of media services. Look for that soon to come. You'll be able to find it really easily through Founders Live portal, because obviously it'll be I'll be staying engaged and staying really involved with Founders Live as well. So look for
all right, everyone. The event's not over. Jump into these rooms. Check it out, meet people, chat. I will be swimming around these rooms as well. So enjoy. And hey, for Founders Livefest 2021 or 2020, we're not even in 2021 yet, but for Founders Livefest 2020, thank you all. This has been so great and so excited. Please don't make this your last. Stay around Founders Live, and we'll see you soon. Thank you all.